Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, you beautiful lads and lasses. We're going to have a wonderful evening.
Don't start that shit,
I was going to say,
Yeah.
It's already beginning.
I know, it's already beginning. It's already beginning. Well, although I hate the commercialization of it, I might as well say Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone. You may wonder, you may be wondering, but Royce, Richard, Daniel, where is your guest? Well,
we have a theory.
We have a theory. And the theory is that as daylight savings happens, and the rest of the world doesn't have daylight savings time, may or may not have forgotten to tell them that the stream was probably in a different hour slot than they may be used to on the other side of the planet. So we are hoping that Radio Retrofutre does actually join us this week, because I think it's going to be like 3 a.m. his time. So I would feel so bad if for some reason we were not. The time slot and the change. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can forever blame me for this one if it turns out to be an absolute atrocity.
We'll just talk to the chat all night.
Yeah, there you go.
And
that'll be the real atrocity, right?
And get drunk. Daniel plans to be a chair by the end of this. There's just going to be a hand just...
Yeah, I still need to work on that ruler that we can clamp onto the side of his chair.
Little meter in the side of the...
Yeah, if I do that, I'm going to have to go all out, get some lights behind it so that
that'd be great.
Is that a window next to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, we could get a little solar panel, just peek it out there and just
there you go.
Self-powered.
That's great.
There you go.
All right, gentlemen, what do you say we say hello to the chat? And I do hope that Bonzart joins us very soon. Down in the chat, we have Trippy Soul. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey.
King Bob! King Bob! Redoubt Productions is down there. Raven Nevermore, Horizon Talker. James Craig, what's going on, man? Everly Music.
Good
Fantastic to see you. The Lord Honor. Actually, I got a comment on this. Everly Music commented, he was like, "Movement of the Earth?" ? And yes, that is actually the intro song that plays. That is the name of the intro song that plays, is Movement of the Earth. So funny enough, Richard was actually telling me that his kids were watching a video and that song was playing in the video and he ran in to be like, "No, don't listen to him." No, turn it off. Turn it off.
Just turn it off right now.
Yeah. I'm glad to know that I'm the type of guy you have to protect your kids from. Boy, wow. That sounded a lot worse out loud than it did in my head.
I wasn't going to say it.
Great start, Royce.
Great start. Great start. Oh, good Lord. I think I said hello to the Lord Otter. Maybe I didn't, but hello, yes. Lord Otter, Guilty Gearhead. 10Cage, how are you? Maji Chan, hello. What's going on? The Unreal Press Podcast. Unreal Press Podcast. There's no "the" there, just Unreal Press Podcast. TSBOL Immortal Rising Comic Book. How are you doing? I think we checked out their stuff on one of the supporter streams. Correct. It sounds familiar to me. And I probably sound like a colossal jackass when I say that, but I'm sleep deprived, ladies and gentlemen, so I can't remember everything. I'm so sorry. Darkish Multiverse, what's going on? Bong Donkey. I love that name. I love the name Bong Donkey. It's hilarious. It's so great. Kikomon, what's going on? Wrangler, how are you? Good God, it jumped on me. Why did it jump on? Was I close? I was close to the end. Yes. And we have Anthony Ron Danilli down in the chat. How is everybody doing down in the chat? I am so very excited to be back with Iron Age Knights, and I do hope that the time difference does not, in fact, mess up our guest appearance. And I do hope that Bonzart, and if for some reason we screw up really, really bad, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll make it up to him, and we will get Bonzart back for the appearance. I'll have to change the thumbnail, though, and I was really, really happy with that thumbnail. I might just take, like, images of us and just be like, three idiots talk for an hour, and just that'll be the thumbnail.
I mean, it's correct. It's
yes.
A good description.
We'll just backstage, and we'll all get up so you can take a screenshot of our empty spaces.
There you go.
That'd be great. Oh, man. TSBOL for $5.50 Canadian says, did your wife figure out how oven timers work yet? Did you guys see that short that I put up?
Yes.
Oh, man. That was months ago I took that video. And I just... because I heard my wife, I heard her open the oven, and she was like, damn it. And like I knew what happened. Because that's the one. Because my wife is so good. Like she just knows when like the kitchen stuff goes off. Right. It's just like in her head. But every so often she'll just get busy enough to where she forgets. and she did that. And it does happen often enough that I was able to poke a little bit of fun at her. Oh, that was great. I'm surprised I didn't. I'm surprised she let me record that, because usually if I get the phone out and I start recording, she tells me no. She's like, no, you're not allowed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah.
I would certainly expect something to get thrown at your head.
She was beating me with the cardboard that the pizza came on. It was like, ah!
Close enough.
Everybody had a good time with that last comment she threw at me, though. She goes, your mom doesn't even like you. It was great, man. Talking Pulp Press, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Rob Rhymes, who is, and I do have to grab the book, Rob, over here, Barbarians of the Storm. He is the fantastic writer of that. Oh, which I still got to get it. I'm getting, the books are getting too much. I actually did receive the Wizard's Stone from Herman P. Hunter this week. Yes, this was no, I did not purchase this. This was a gift from Herman P. Hunter. So
Herman the Hedge Hunter.
Did you see that? But Talking Pulp Press for $5, Mr. Rob Rhymes says, sup, made chili with your Trinidad Scorpion. I am alive. Yeah. Dude, I'm glad that you liked it. Yeah, no, that's Trinidad Scorpion fresh out of our garden from, and my wife takes it and she, it almost clears the house out because she dehydrates it. And man, so it's good. Oh yeah. Have you had any of it yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
No,
I've tried the Scorpion. I tried the habanero and the 7-pot. I haven't messed with the 2 in the packets yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, the 7-pot's one of my favorite. The 7-pot is one of those, like, you could put it on anything. Eggs, chili. It doesn't matter. If you can think of it, you can put it on anything. He's like, you gotta be a little bit careful with that Trinidad though. Like that'll burn you.
That was amazing.
Huh?
That was amazing.
I was just like,
little sprinkle, taste. Like, ooh, all right, more.
I accidentally put too much in some ramen one night, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I ate it, but I was like really, really red. I was like, man, this is warm. Brian with Coppin, he's over in the locals chat.
I threw that 7-pot in a thing of homemade baked beans the other night.
Oh, I never even thought about. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna make me hungry. Oh,
I was gonna say this is rapidly degrading into in a totally different direction than usual.
Yes,
Spice appreciation stream.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, we generally we have a guest, and I didn't even think of the time change. When I scheduled this with, because dude, I scheduled this with Radio Retrofutre like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I didn't even think about the time change, and I would imagine he's probably sleeping right now, which is hard as he works.
Poor guy is going to wake up in like 30 minutes to get ready for this thing, and he's going to be like,
I know.
running on.
I do hope that he is able to join.
And he usually does streams in kind of a character or outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the poor guy is going to be. Hopefully not too frazzled. Hopefully,
if we screw this one up, we will have to make it up to him. We'll have
like a makeup stream of some kind. Maybe we'll have an early morning midweek stream or something like that.
God, yeah.
Daniel looked excited. Did you see how excited he got?
No,
I said early morning.
I wouldn't mind. No. It's not the early morning thing. It's the whole taking off work thing. That's
I know.
The pain. I would have to make it. No. Kikomon says, I feel left out. When are you? Or I'm sorry, Kikomon for $5. I feel left out. When are you going to show a Kikomon dispenser when my name is mentioned? Kikomon dispenser.
Like a.
Oh, just the thing. Never. I don't buy soy sauce, dude. Not even for the memes. Not even for the memes.
My salute's not good enough for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I need to get like a 3D
so unloved
Kikomon symbol or something like
that.
We'll just do that. I have a bunch of filament that I'm like, I need to use this up before the humidity kills it, because it goes bad in Houston.
Yeah,
in no time.
Oh god, no! I thought Kikomon was going to just like leave the channel the day that he heard me say that I hate soy sauce. Like I don't like once in a blue moon I'll put soy sauce on even I'm not a big like Chinese food fan or anything like that. I do like Japanese food a lot more than Chinese food though, I will say that much. But it's just soy sauce. It's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. That and ketchup. Ugh.
Race is now very suspect to me.
Oh, soy sauce, ketchup, whipped cream.
Ketchup, if you get like a spicy ketchup, that could be pretty good.
There's
like
so
black
the only
pepper,
the
or like all
only
natural
thing,
ketchup is pretty okay, I think.
The only thing that I don't mind ketchup
we're just really on food tonight, aren't we?
No, well, we might as well be. It's easy to talk about. We don't have a guest right now because I totally screwed up the schedule. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Kikomon for $2. Kikomon for $2 when someone else has mentioned a book is shown. It's not everybody. It's just like the books that I have. I try to shout people out. But yeah.
Kikomon, you get the salute, man.
Yeah. No, every so often, like once every 4 or 5 years when I eat a corn dog, I will put ketchup on a corn dog because it just there's something about corn dogs. I don't know. There's something about the flavor of corn dogs and ketchup that's not bad. But that's definitely not a thing that I do. I like hot sauce. I like hot food. I like spicy food. So
I forgive you then.
Yeah. Well, dude, you're eating some of the spicy food. My wife was like, I need to get rid of this. And then took all of my spicy stuff away and sold it to you and Rob Rhymes.
Correct.
And I'm still pissed off about it.
It's about to get a lot worse because I've been sharing it with my stepfather. So we're going to be ordering a double batch next time.
Yeah. And I think I got to see what my wife's going to do this year. I don't know if she's going to do the variety of pepper plants, but I think she's going to do the select ones that everybody really likes. I mean, One of these days I'll have to do like a pepper challenge on like the channel. But the problem is like all of the peppers that I have, if they're fresh off the vine and roasted on the grill, that like they will murder people. like even as spicy as I eat it, you pull a pepper fresh off the vine, roasted on the grill, like I did. I'll have to find that video for my wife. She didn't take the video of the pepper eating. She took the video of the aftermath, and we were like me and my buddy are out in the yard, and we're about to puke. I mean, it was hot. It was hot. And we had just enough beer in us that night that we're like, yeah, no, this will be fine. And we had a sliver of a fresh Komodo dragon right off the vine. And I had just got done. Grilling stuff with the charcoal grill, so the charcoals were still nice and hot. So I just threw it right on the grill rack and just flipped it a couple times, and then we just took a knife and just kind of cut it. I didn't grab it with my hands because I'm not that stupid, but yeah. No, it was awesome. So
yeah, I had to warn my daughter because she's like, "What do they smell like?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So open it far away from your face and just sort of
waft it. Yeah, don't. I've made that mistake.
Last thing I need is for her to mace herself.
Dude,
I mean, I don't know. It might be a good life lesson in my opinion.
Yeah, as somebody who's done it, don't sniff pepper powder. Don't. That's not. Because I was like,
I'm crazy.
I was like, and my wife's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I know. I was like, it smells really good, but damn, that burns.
I do it, but it's, I'm nuts when it comes to spices.
Oh, dude, I love put your hands on the roasted pepper, then rub your eyes. No. No. What's even worse is if you like put your hands on the roasted pepper and you think you get all the oil off and then you have to go to the bathroom. Oh, nope. Nope. Nothing fun about that. Nothing fun about fire pecker.
That's why you Superman it, man.
No. Right? Right?
If you're worried, you just Superman it. Yeah.
Just Superman. 5-alarm wiener fire. Well, the chat's here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys all so much for showing up tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah, like I said, hopefully, I do hope that Radio Retrofutre is able to join us tonight. I feel so bad. Like I said, when we scheduled this, it's 3 a.m. his time, and it's so hard to do all this. Maji Chan says ghost chili powder. In order to use it, you have to dip a toothpick in it and then dip the toothpick in the food. No, you get a spoon and you get just a little bit. And you go, shh, and it's good. I
also think it's a matter of how fresh some of these things are, right? And whatnot, because there's some things that I've had that it's like, okay, these have just kind of broken down into just acids and oils, essentially.
Yeah, one thing that I've, like I said, but my heat tolerance for food, because I've been eating hot food for years. So and by years, I mean, since I was a kid. Like my dad used to make Mexican green chili that he got a lot of respect from people from Mexico for his green chili, both the flavor and obviously the heat to it. Because everybody, oh, you're a gringo, you can't make green chili, and then they'd eat it, and I was, oh, bitch, you can make green chili, So I've eaten hot food since I was a kid, and so my tolerance for it is it's 20 years in the making. I mean, I could eat roasted jalapenos when I was like 12 or 13, and a lot of people can't do that.
Them as snacks.
Huh?
I eat those as snacks.
Well, yeah, now, but like when I was 12, I didn't quite, Kikoman for $5. Let King Richard and Sleek P shill while we wait. I want to learn more about the magazine at the very least. I could do that. I could. But if I did that though, we would give away the show for the very end of the month. Well,
no, they'll be. We won't give away too much, and I do have something else to show, which is the short stories. The voting from February. It's going through Sunday evening instead of Saturday. So this is the first time that we've had enough entries in short stories and poetry. It's only the second month that we've been splitting those things off. But, there's a bunch of great entries, and there's already people voting. And I'm happy to see that there's great engagement so far. So if you want to support people, support the Iron Age creators, many of whom are in chat right now. Go and just at least, give it a quick read, leave a like or a comment if you can. And if it's your favorite, definitely vote for it. So it's a huge help. And I will not divulge any of the voting statistics, but I'm kind of surprised because right now in the short story category, the voting results are like a 4-way tie at the moment. And usually I don't vote. So, don't make me be like a tiebreaker here, guys. Come on, get out there. And if we have a mystical 4-way tie,
you guys all need to figure out what the voting statistics are, coordinate with each other, and then vote. Just so Richard has to be the a-hole that picks.
Or I have to reorganize the site in some fashion, which I need to be doing anyway. So
either way, do all of those things to Richard because it's fun watching.
That's right.
Bad stuff happen to other people other than me sometimes.
Yes, hey, if that's what motivates you to go out and read those stories and vote, then I'm all for it.
Horizon Talker, he says this ain't even a super chat. He says Uncle Sam wants you to vote on Iron Age Media Props.
He does.
That is correct.
That is correct. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, so for those people joining, just so in case you missed the beginning, so Radio Retrofutre is in a very, very different time zone. In fact, it's about 3 a.m. his time. And so I would imagine he went to go get some sleep. And because of the time zone difference, I didn't think about daylight savings time and that affecting the stream here. And I should have thought about daylight savings time when I booked the show like 3 weeks ago, but I didn't.
It kind of sneaks up on you.
I didn't even know it was. I'm so fucking tired of daylight savings time. We don't burn whale oil anymore. Can we get rid of it, please?
I've done no research into this, but I saw on a passing Twitter thread that it actually has nothing to do with any of that. And it was just kind of like a government meddling thing that came into existence after World War II. And so I've done no research into whether or not that's true. But I just assume
there were rumors that
by a Twitter anon.
There were rumors that it was around some like
I believe
energy conservation thing, simply because what we were using back then was not as good as what we have now. And so in order to burn less fuel, we just kind of moved the daylight hours around like the working hours.
I mean, that's theoretically, yes.
It's absolutely retarded. It's just like, hey, maybe you guys should open your business a little later. Like,
I mean, I think it has to do with lizard people, but
I mean, also lizard people, them bastards.
Yeah, there were rumors that it was farming influenced as well.
That
is
not
the
true.
big. I don't know. It's not that. Don't start the farming thing, Daniel.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, starting the farming thing.
No, it was not, dude. I broke someone's brain years ago. He was a coworker in my last company. And he goes, no, it was the farmers. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was because we were using whale oil at the time. And the idea of moving it was because they were burning too much oil. And so instead of people just moving their business hours, because we're creatures of habit, we decided to just shift the clocks forward. And he goes, no, it's for the farmers. I'm like, dude, I've never met a farmer in my life who cares about that. They wake up before the sun comes up and they go to bed after the sun. So he got really cocky and he goes, okay, let's look it up. And the hangdog look he got on his face, and he goes, wow, yeah, it says right here that there was, they were trying to conserve oil. I was like, oh, really? I was like, how did you know that? I'm like, because I pay attention. I know these things. Only because I'm curious about stuff. When someone goes, hey, that doesn't sound right, I go, huh. Hey, that's a weird screen.
Hey.
Hello.
I don't know. He may not be here quite yet.
He may not be here yet.
Black screen,
webcam, something.
All right, let's just remove him from the stream, and then. But Bonzart is here. Oh my goodness, Lord, gentlemen, we don't have
He's
to do this by
panicking.
ourselves.
Unfortunately, this is
no. I hope he's not.
This is
God,
Royce's
I feel
grand
so bad.
plan.
Yeah, it's not my
No,
grand plan.
I know.
I'm not malicious like that. Good God, I'm not.
It's fun to pretend, though.
No, it's not fun to. Why am I always at the boot end of somebody's pretend? It's like it's very uncomfortable. Some
I mean,
days.
I don't know. I think it's the
because you don't like ketchup, whipped cream, or soy sauce. That's why.
I can't.
Hard to trust somebody who doesn't
These
like
unnatural habits.
Goat cheese, blue cheese. Don't like them either. Those are bad.
Oh,
don't like those are bad.
I have no regrets for giving you a hard time and how.
I have no. You deserve it. You guys suck.
Doesn't like blue cheese. I mean, doesn't like anything. I don't know.
Blue cheese and hot wings, man. What the fuck?
Blue cheese, dude. Blue cheese is one of the few like smells on the planet that will make me gag. It is very, very bad.
Ooh, prank fodder.
Ugh. No. I can't. I can't. I can't.
Sorry, I have the same reaction to a green bean casserole.
All right. Bonzart, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up when you are ready, good sir. All right. There is the thumbs up. Disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, Radio Retrofutre. Joining us at the very good morning. I am so sorry that it is this early in the morning for you, and also
well, it's I thought it was 3 a.m. for me, but it's 2 a.m. 2:30 now. So I was sleeping to make sure I was audible or could at least come out of my words. But I thought we were at 3 a.m. and it turned out we were at 2 a.m. So
and we know what happened.
We know what happened. So America does this really stupid thing called daylight savings time.
We do it too. Okay, but you do a different date than us. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So yours hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Well, for us, it already happened like a while back. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was probably when you spoke. So that's how that happened. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, I didn't. Oh man, I thought I botched. I was like, I totally forgot about daylight savings time. I'm so sorry.
Well, it happens. I'm all kind of awake now.
Kind of awake works.
No, well, you
don't need too much brain for this stream.
Collect coffee.
Yes, go get coffee. Absolutely, I will not shame anybody for getting coffee. Oh man.
Not at 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, well,
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
I think I'm set then.
Thank you so much, Bonzart, for joining us that early in the morning and being willing to do this at that time zone. I know, I obviously being in different continents, it's kind of hard, but thank you so much. So,
well, we're here now, so.
Oh, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Bonzart from Radio Retrofutre. And, sir, for those who may not know you, give us a little introduction to yourself, and then give us a little introduction to the absolutely insane world that you're building.
Yeah, so... Excuse me, let me get rid of it.
You're fine.
Okay, so I'm Bonzart Bokel. I'm a YouTuber from the Netherlands, and since 2021, I'm also publishing my own book series set in a steampunk, cosmic, horror-inspired universe called The Association of Ishtar. And it's supposed to be a community-led project. I hope to get more authors involved and also new writers to help them along with building their new worlds. And we intentionally chose for a multiverse so other people can, also easily insert their own ideas as well.
And that's one of the things that really drew me into what you're doing is just the grand scale that you have for this, and just like how you're planning to build it. But before we get to the planning to build it and the grand scale, where does this all start for you?
I got into steampunk somewhere around what was it, 2000 and late 2011, I think, or 2012. And ever since then, I've been, exploring that genre. Also trying to understand what it is, and that led to my YouTube channel, Radio Retrofutre, where I created a series called the Steampunk Beginner's Guide, and then I also started, getting a lot of questions about writing as well. Now I dabbled a bit in fiction writing, not all that much. I was very inspired by people like the nostalgia critic, who was really big back then. And that never really came to fruition, that kind of stuff. But I did start writing again, and that's kind of like how we ended up here where we are now.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool. And this is your second Kickstarter, correct?
Yeah. The first one was a coloring book of all things. Yeah, but it was related to this project.
Mm-hmm.
That was
that sounds kid friendly to me. Oh, that's right. There is a Kickstarter. Oh my God, I did not share the Kickstarter down in the link below.
Yeah.
Yes. The second one is for the second novel, Bound for the Sticks. I don't have a physical copy of that yet, as we're still working on interior illustrations. However, while we were preparing the Kickstarter, I also came up with these, which are anthologies, which even some members of your community have worked on. Because the idea, So originally the idea was to kind of have SCP like stories. For those who don't know what the SCP Foundation is, it's also kind of open sourced cosmic horror fantasy universe with over thousands of stories by various artists. So those stories are also files. And it was something that I was always considering, but SCP Foundation kind of made it click for me. And so I started writing stories like those. The first story I ever wrote, it was S36, the Call Girl. That was the first story I ever wrote, and I turned that into a little comic that's also available during the Kickstarter. But I never really had a place for the format, because they're not your typical, stories with middle, beginning, and end. So that was also something that kind of scared away publishers from working on my book. We love stories, we just don't know how to publish this to an unsuspecting audience, so to speak. So that led to the creation of my first book, The Wrench in the Machine. And this is really written also as an introduction to the whole story universe. And it also contains set stories, because they're written in a file format. They are literally things you can find in the world. So during a role-playing game, you could literally hand a story over to a player and say, well, this is what you found. And that kind of finally led to this. This is 321's Notebook. This is the latest one. It's also a supplement to the first book. And the idea is really that they are made to look like files with scribbles by artists. And so it also contains all the concept work I cannot put in the ordinary book. And I do love my sketches. So I'm kind of that solution. And then people seem to love this already more than Bound for the Sticks itself at the moment. But
but what I like about that is you found a natural way to incorporate your sketches and what a lot of people because a lot of people do these Kickstarters and they'll say, oh, well, and if you do this, you can get the sketchbook and you can get, and you actually found a way to incorporate your kind of behind the scenes stuff naturally into what you're working on. And that's one of the things that I caught a while back, and I was like, man, that's so good. finding a way to say, oh, it's not just this extra thing. No, it fits into the world. And I really love it when people do that. I really love it when people find a way to incorporate naturally their, the origins of the idea into, whether it's a sketch or a sentence even, or, into what they're doing.
Well, the thing for me, what I think sets me apart from a lot of the costume steampunks is this thing to create immersion. That's always been one of my priorities. Like, how can I make something that creates an experience rather than just, oh, it looks pretty. So that's also how I created most of my costuming, and those costuming then in turn inspired some of the character designs itself. So the scav that you encounter in the book are actually based on costumes that we've worked on. A matter of fact, there is now somebody in the United States already working on a new scav costume. So yeah, and and it also really gets people engaged, because like in our Discord community, we've got the two guys now who are making ideas for a cookbook.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I like that you're willing to approach all sorts of different mediums and things like that, because I think that there's a lot of franchises that, kind of like what Royce was saying, it's like they add on these things as sort of just a money grabbing at the end, you know what I mean, rather than something that organically appears as part of just the creative process. So I think that's very cool. You talked about RPG or role playing, and I know that you have some involvement with, or like some of this is geared to be kind of like modules and whatnot. What systems do you like? Like how deep does that go? How far down the rabbit hole does that particular
I cannot say too much about it yet. I hope to have more to say about it after the campaign is done. I am speaking to a game developer in the United States. Cool. He's currently running up another system, but he has been a supporter of the series from the very beginning. He did not even have his company back then, so we talked about it like in February. He kind of like announced his plans that he wanted to do a collaboration. I'm trying, to get the yes word out of him, so to speak. So I can confirm more. But yeah, I mean, when he says he wants to do something, I absolutely trust him that he wants to do something. So, yeah, we'll see. I wish I could say more about it.
I understand.
We've been exploring GURPS, and I've been looking at Blades in the Dark. So we also had like a little character creation contest just to see what people would come up with. And especially the next setting for Bound for the Sticks, people are really hyped about that because it's such a unique thing. And Lord Otter, one of your the reviewers on your thing has also read it, gave it a glowing review, so you can check it out on his Substack.
I actually remember about it.
Yeah.
Lord Otter's here, I believe, this evening. Is Lord Otter here, guys? Did I read out his name?
Yeah,
yes, he is. Lord Otter is here. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's
he is here. No, I did see his name. He's probably just lurking now.
As they do.
Wait, there he is. Yes, as they do. No, I do really quickly. I do have a relevant super, and maybe Kikomon is trolling me, but I hope he's not here. But this sounds like a relevant to your stuff. And he says, "Have you looked into steam-powered cars and utilizing Tesla's turbine?" I went down that rabbit hole for a while.
I have not. I did look a bit into the history of electric cars, because electric cars turned out to be already very big in the time where Rage in the Machine is set in. So But maybe I have not looked in it. I would have to check that out.
It'll be interesting to say the least.
Kitty.
Well, I mean, for the Reginald Machine, like when it comes to the world design of Atlas, the main world of the association where they are located, I have a rule with my artist that it needs to look like at least 80% historically correct or historically correct. So, when you look at it, it really feels like something that happens like in Victorian England, for example. But then it has like that science fiction detail in there, so it really comes out. That's kind of like the road I'm going through. Maybe that certain historical periods will be shoved ahead a bit, like the Art Deco style. I'm not sure about it yet. And the next novel that I'm working on takes place in 1879. So the 80s are about to come around, and I'm thinking of like giving it that kind of like synthwave vibe when the 80s come about, as done by Victorians, so to speak. So we'll see how that goes.
Sounds
very
interesting.
cool. So one of the like things that's interested me most about this is the multiverse aspect of it. Mm-hmm. How do you what's the lore explanation for the multiverse? I know that there's like a whole, I mean, it's steampunk themed, but it's actually quite a bit higher tech in some regards. With oh no, I'm forgetting this, not Sector A, but I'm blanking on the setting of the space station, Arcology A or something.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was having trouble with that word.
Yeah, yeah. So the city is called Arcology, and it's inside of a space station drifting in the world between worlds, and it's what and how that whole system really works and how it originated is something I'm leaving open for future explorations. Like I write my world as I actually write it, so you only get what's relevant to the story, and it allows me to optimize the world for the type of stories that I want to tell, rather than the other way around, which I see going wrong with a lot of aspiring writers who start with this massive world idea, and then it's like, well, okay, imagine and it's morning, where does your character do its groceries? And then he's like, that's what I see a lot, and so that's something I really advise against, and that's where the short stories come in. So I first write the short stories, there I explore what I want to explore, then I realize like the fuller, bigger potential of a character or an idea, and that happened a lot, especially with Bound for the Sticks, and then I unexpectedly fit them in somehow. That's also how the protagonist of the next book, Egray Mortaba, came to be. She is originally a story called S6, Subject 6, She Can't Go Home Again, who's a girl who's kind of lives in exile on the world of the association. When I wrote that story 2 years ago, it's like, there's more here. Then I introduced her in The Wrench in the Machine as a side character. She got a full arc in that. I intended her to be kind of like a side character, because the main character in that book is kind of like a fish out of water. He doesn't know about the multiverse at the start of the book, and then he learns all this, and Igraine kind of like helps him understand all that. But then she has her whole own arc in there that leads into the events that go into Bound for the Sticks. So most travel in this multiverse is through the rifts. These are anomalies that start popping up on the world of Atlas, which is another version of Earth. However, the idea behind that world is that, like, they've got all these portals opening up everywhere. Okay, look, how does it affect that timeline? So when it is about the stories about on Atlas, it's really about what happens if you've got let's say a post-Napoleon-esque period in history, and all these portals start opening up. How do they deal with the influx of ideas? How do they deal with the influx of alien creatures?
Yeah.
So everything that you see happening here is like a reaction to that influx of biology and ideas and technology. Now, one thing that's very important to this world is that you can go to another world. However, if you stay there for a certain amount of time, you start falling apart. So you cannot go in with your super advanced army, take over a world. And so everything, a lot of the technology that the association encounters is technology especially made to counter that effect. The story, and the reason for that idea was originally because it was always had been the idea that more people could insert their worlds in there. But how do you keep these worlds separate from one another, so it doesn't become a jumbled mess like, oh, well, a character from this world goes to all these worlds and that's why it has all the technology, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't want to have that. And that kind of led into a symptom called Traveler's Decay, in which things just are destroyed after a certain amount of days. However, that little rule then led to, okay, well, if there is a species who wants to invade another world, let's say, or some multiverse-bound life form that procreates through the rifts, how would that work? And that leads to all kinds of technologies that's really set on procreating itself on other worlds. Which led to, for one, the Branch of the Machine is about a cult dedicated to that effect. We've got the Imperial Penal Legion, who is actually fighting like aliens, like in this picture, with special technology that only they are allowed to use. Because the political situation also tries to keep a kind of balance, so the power doesn't go to the nation with the most access to futuristic world, so to speak.
Interesting. And now, actually, that illustration that you showed me kind of gave me a question, which was, I believe in the trailer for the Kickstarter, you described Bound for the Sticks as an illustrated novel.
Yeah.
Is that is that a lot of illustrations? Is that a couple illustrations, or are we talking more like a graphic novel? Where does this fall in that? Is it closer to just?
We've got a dozen or so illustrations.
Okay, well, that's excellent, I think.
Yeah. So and some
those look great.
I mean,
can't hear you, Bryce.
Sorry.
Strange. That's very weird.
Bryce is talking, but nobody can hear him.
No, I apologize. I do have to interrupt for just a moment because this will disappear in the chat as it goes. But Kikomon just gifted 5 a Drink with Crazy membership, so thank you so much, Kikomon. Usually I can hold the super chats off because I can save those, but I don't have the option to save it when somebody does the gifted memberships. So I just wanted to make sure that I shout that out. So I apologize for interrupting the conversation. Thank you so much, Kikomon. Sorry about that. I do apologize, Bonzart.
We got 5 more. Thank you, Kikomon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sir.
So that makes 10 gifted a Drink with Crazy memberships. Thank you so much, Kikomon. I really appreciate it, man. And
the generous Lord of Soy.
Yeah, no, he is.
My favorite thing about the membership subs are whenever you like get the non-chatting lurkers who get gifted, and you're like, oh, hey, I recognize that name.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So fantastic. So how big is this going to get? And where does this go? Where does this go for you? How big does this get? How How much are you going to do? And what is your... Oh, I guess what's your biggest dream for this? Are we talking about like this is going to be the next Star Wars in 20 years, or where are we at?
Back on Star Wars.
Well, like I originally had a 5-year plan that we would be able to make a game out of it. But that might be shoved forward due to some lucky coincidence. So we'll see, and if that happens, more exciting stuff might happen because he's also a guy who likes to plan ahead and has a lot of connections. So we'll see. So if that goes on, right now I'm working on new novelettes. These novelettes will be more. I posted it today on the update, by the way. So one ambition of mine is to have more writers involved to make more stuff like this. Radio Retrofutre.com is defunct, by the way.
It is defunct.
Yeah. Well, the website is still there. I just am not paying for the domain name anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not updating that website. So
gotcha. So the Association of Ishtar is the website.
Yeah.
I apologize about that. I probably should have asked before I did it. I'm so sorry.
Well, you might find it referenced here and there at some places, but I'm not updating that website anymore.
It's hard. It's hard when you drop a website. Mine's currently migrating to a new hosting platform, so it's down, but everybody knows that's the one. So I get comments, DMs sometimes like, "Hey, your website's down." And I'm like, "I know."
Kikomon gifted another 5 Drink with Crazy memberships.
So 15 in one show.
Yes, he
My goodness,
is.
thank you, sir.
He is celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and I can tell.
Yes.
Well done. That's a lot of green in chat, actually. It's perfect.
That is a lot of green in chat. Thank you so much, Kikomon. I appreciate it.
Plancha, Kikomon.
So, oh, man.
So, but yeah, as far as I want to go, like, I thought that aiming for a role-playing game was already pretty high. So
it's a good plan.
We'll see what happens and what develops from there. Right now, I'm working on the novelettes. The next one is nearly done. I'm working on a kind of like a prologue and to get still steering like how the final form of that is going to look like. And then I'm working on 2 other ones which will explore kind of like the mercenary military aspects of that world and dealing with Imperial Penal Legion, which are the so-called casket girls, which I'm really eager to write about. And another faction, some guys who want to bring back knightlyhood while fighting in kind of like power armored suits called the Knights of Kavaloon.
Steam powered power armor. I'm down. I love that stuff. That's awesome.
So I forgot actually one of the original BattleTech artists to draw me one of the casket girls. Let's see, is it included in this one?
I'm
no,
curious.
It's not included
about this.
in this version of the comic book, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's a shame.
I got my hopes up there. No, that sounds very exciting.
No, but it's on the website somewhere. I might have posted it recently on Facebook, a matter of fact, or in the latest Kickstarter update. I included that image.
All right, now I'm curious.
Yeah, so, but yeah, the Knights of Avalon are some rather naive guys who want to bring back a kind of like a knighthood in order to fight these monsters, while taking on this experimental technology. So it's kind of like Ghostbuster-esque in that way, that it kind of like describes how they're developing the first prototype of the armor, and then they have to cooperate with a corporation called Utterkrab, who are one of the main importers of otherworldly technology, and they also produce like the essential technology that they require. So they at one end, they're kind of being used as a PR campaign by Utterkrab. However, they also really need to do what Utterkrab says, otherwise their whole technology won't function. So you've got these idealistic guys having to deal with the harsh realities of economics in a way. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
After that, I'm building up ideas for what the next novel should be about. But I want to have like a very I want to have a focused idea of what the book was going to be about. Like for the Wrench in the Machine, it was okay. This is an introduction for the world, and then the themes came, the themes of the book came up. And for Bound for the Sticks, it was really okay. She is going to the city, and it's very noir in a way. As Igraine, the main character, changes the city. However, the city also changes her. So the city is very much a character into itself. And I expect a lot of readers want me to continue those stories in that setting because it's getting so popular. And there's actually already a video for those who like that called The White Airship that kind of like explains some of the background to the city. Because what happens in arcology is that you cannot just reach arcology through a rift. You are brought there by an entity called the White Airship. What happens is that when a world in this multiverse gets destroyed, an entity known as the White Airship comes by to pick up a bunch of chosen survivors, so to say, and those are basically being dumped in that space station and left there to fend for themselves. And most end up in arcology. But as a consequence, it's this mishmash of cultures and languages and whatever, because none of these people share a language, let alone a common history. So it's this very strange mixture of everything. There's gonna be some changes, but as the story progresses in the city, but that's for the people to find out.
So you have so much going on. It's okay. Really, really quickly, Richard. I apologize. How long have you been working on this world?
I think I started writing, and Skunk's Workshop. He actually is in the chat. He actually did some sketches for this. He also read the whole book. So thank you, Skunks.
Wow.
I think
Talented
I
guy.
started in 2000. I think I wrote S36 in 2017. And that is like the whole foundation for everything. It's the reason why the associates have numbers. It's why they have radios. So that's really the blueprint for it all. That's why I turned it into a small comic. So I've been working on it since, and now I'm really trying to focus on building up the world, seeing where it goes. We are now starting on our Discord with a world anvil to kind of like crystallize all the lore and elements. Most of the short stories are also on our website, associationofishtar.com, for the people who want to look at the drafts. And I'm still experimenting with the format. Like, this is a very recent edition, and we'll see. It also depends, like, who's going to join us on this adventure. Like I said, some guys are now brainstorming about a coloring book, a cookbook. So you can join the Discord and insert your ideas, and we'll see where it goes. It's a big adventure, and I hope more people will join me on in the process. So that's
it sounds like a cool community project.
Yeah. So it's really the money is for the sake of the illustrations and get more stuff out there. So we're approaching the $2,000. I hope it will go up to 3,000. That's my personal goal. We'll see if that happens. But
do you mind if we play the video?
Oh, go ahead.
All right, let's
Let me
go.
put out the.
Uh-oh, somebody has a phone ringing.
No, that was my alarm clock.
Oh.
For the show.
Yep,
Like I said, I thought it was going to be an hour later, so that's how that happened.
Yeah, I have that same alarm on my phone, actually.
Samsung. Yeah.
Yep. That's what. Yep. I don't trust Apple.
Same.
So everybody jokes that Google is taking over the world, right? So if Google's going to take over the world, why would I buy an Apple phone? Like, when Google takes over the world and the machines are run by Google AI, I want the machines to come after me last. So because no. Look, I'm a follower. I have it's Google. It's an Android, and okay. And then they go and they take out all of the iPhone people. That's my plan for survival.
Okay then. Hope that works for you.
You know what? When all else fails, try madness instead.
There you go.
That's kind of where I'm at. So, Kikomon, this is actually a somewhat serious question, but Kikomon for $5. And this is, and I don't think he means any offense by this at all, but it's, Kikomon says, Bonzart, do you consider yourself closer to the German or French language? Curious about the Netherlands.
The Dutch is far closer to German for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But we do as most European languages, we do have a lot of French words.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the language itself, we're close to German.
Yeah, it's closer to the Saxon, right? It's derived from the Sax. It comes from the Sax, correct? Or am I mistaken on
that? I know that Germanic languages are their own class.
Yeah. Because I know at some point obviously Anglo-Saxon comes from obviously the English and the Saxon, and I know it split off from the predecessor to the Germanic languages.
That's possible. I never really looked it up, to be honest.
Philology is really fun to look into. How languages break down. It's fun. It's just a fun little thing to look into. All right, so let's check this video out over on the Kickstarter, and I do have that link down in the live chat.
Greetings, fellow travelers. I am Bonsard Bokal to tell you about our second Kickstarter to help us realize our multiverse of adventure and exploration that I call the Association of Ishtar. Bound for the Sticks is an illustrated novel about Igraine Mortiba's adventures in archaeology, a cobbled together community of scavengers built in the ruins of an ancient space station that was abandoned by its creators millennia ago. Now its interior is but a feral grotto with its own ecosystem hostile to human life. However, it's also a unique place that offers many possibilities to the investigators of the Association of Ishtar, who are protecting their world from the many threats lurking inside the multiverse. I've been working on the series since 2018, having published our first novel in 2021. This campaign includes The Wrench in the Machine and Bound for the Sticks, but we also have 2 fully illustrated supplementary anthologies featuring the investigations by the Association. These in-universe documents can elaborate on some of the technologies, characters, or phenomena encountered by the Association, but it's not just an immersive document, it's also ideal for your RPGs inspired by these settings. And speaking of which, we offer 4 tabletop miniatures inspired by the characters from both the novels. If you want to be part of the multiverse itself, you can. We have a draw-in option where you can be drawn as an archaeology scavenger. And for the truly dedicated, you can get your concepts or characters included by pledging on our write-in tier. I could tell you more about our first comic or coloring book, but all of these are just mere samples of what we have planned for this series. We are already working on new stories and other projects, but what I love most about is that we have a creative community where people share their passions to help us expand this multiverse, and it truly feels like an adventure, and I'll hope you'll join us on this journey. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you adieu. And of course, make things your way.
Very nice.
I said it the first time I saw one of your ad videos, and I will say it again. The amount of editing work that you put into those videos for people who have not done editing work, I'm watching that going, that minute and a half long, 2-minute video, that was 20 hours worth of work. Just for the prep, the setup, like everything that you had to the initial recording, the various different scenes, how the planning out the shots. I see what you're doing there, and I know the selling point for a lot of people is the story that you're trying to tell, the coloring books, the Kickstarter, all of this stuff. And for me, the selling point is the amount of hard work that you're putting into your video editing. Because you could just have easily done just a slideshow graphic of the artwork and maybe the book covers with a voiceover, and you didn't. You chose to put together a video. And do you do the editing work?
I do it all myself. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And that like I said, as somebody who's done editing work, not necessarily for A Drink with Crazy, because the videos that I do require very little editing, but my other channel that I had that I worked on for years and would like to get back to one of these days when I have time is an airsoft channel. I love playing airsoft, and to put together a video that takes that many camera angles, that takes the voiceover work, that takes the transitions, the slides, timing it all out correctly, that shows me a level of dedication that you have to putting out a good product. Because again, you could have just done a slideshow with voiceover, and you chose not to do it. And why I compliment your video editing is because that speaks a lot to your character. I see your character in it, and I said it before, and I have to say it again, because I think things like that'll get missed. And I don't want people to miss those things. I'm like, guys, if he's willing to put this much into just a video to tell you about what he's doing, think about what he's willing to put into the thing he actually wants you to see. Right?
I mean, that's one of the things a lot of people do not realize about being a writer is the amount of promotion you're going to have to do to actually. A lot of people have this idea, or at least that's how it comes across to me, that they expect that everyone is waiting for their story. No. I'm afraid that's not the case. I really hope that more people will support the Kickstarter, even if it's just for $1. I hope to see that backer number go up. And and as somebody, I saw a question about the dollar versus the euro. I think it's like 110 something.
So, it's fairly. It's a lot closer now than it used to be.
Oh yeah, well at some point it was even the dollar even outperformed the euro for a couple of days, weeks or so. It was like that also happened, and that was really annoying for me because that was like a moment that I had to like pay some people for the Kickstarter. Like,
oh no,
yeah,
oh no,
you're
just like, wait, I owe you more money.
I was far too charitable with the first Kickstarter. When it came to transportation costs, so only after taxes, I think I might have made like $100 on that or something. So that was a tough lesson, but the next one should be a lot more profitable, fortunately.
Good.
But it was a valuable lesson, which was the whole idea. The idea behind the first Kickstarter was really to produce art for the series, learn what it's like to communicate with the artists. That's also how I met Neutron Boar.
Neutron Boar is actually the guy who did that. That was Kikomon. You've seen Kikomon chat quite a bit this evening with the super chats, but Kikomon actually commissioned that from Neutron Boar. So that is I am well aware of what Neutron Boar is capable of.
Yeah, he made like 1 or 2 illustrations for the series. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Yeah, two. He made one of the covers as well, and one of the illustrations of Associate 321.
Right on.
So, but
This one I'm going to interrupt because this is actually a good question. So Kikomon, he's bought a lot of books and stuff. Now, this is a good one. He says for $5, he says, I will be honest, I don't want to support books that I know I won't have time to read, right? He started buying a bunch of books and just found out he just doesn't have the time, and he's talked about this. And he says, can I donate without benefit? Would that be better? Okay.
Yes, you can absolutely donate. You can, when you go to Kickstarter, there is a field like donate without reward. So that's an option. And then you can donate whatever you want. But we also offer audiobooks. So if you don't have time to read,
that's a nice
you have time
option.
to listen. So that's there as well. And I don't have any pledges on that yet. Because the Bound for the Sticks is already done recording. That's already published. As a matter of fact, you can already get it on various other websites. I still need a proper incentive to finish the audio recording of the machine. But audiobooks are also a bitch to produce. So and I want to work on something new. But yeah. But I really need to finish recording the Wrench in the Machine as well. So that will be coming regardless.
Very nice.
So yeah, and even if you just donate for $1, algorithmically it's very important because then every donation is an additional backer, which Kickstarter really likes. So you do help a lot of creators just by donating $1.
No, that's yeah, and that's it's so weird how how the software algorithms will work now. It's why, I'm very, very glad that everybody down in the chat does it because I'm terrible at it. But like, believe it or not, it's donating $1 similar to like, hey, like this video, right? Because for some reason that tells that little algorithm, oh, hey, because whether it's a like or a comment or a dislike, or it just engagement in that thing tells the algorithm this thing here, push it forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they want to see that people are engaging with it, So, and then when you donate for $1, you still have to go through the whole process of giving up your credit card number and that kind of stuff. So that's probably also a reason why I don't get many $1 donations. But yeah, that's that they do really help. And yeah, so if you want to support any creator on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, BackerKit, whatever, yeah, you really help them that way.
No, and like I said, it's so weird. It changes the game a little bit. It's something that I've been trying to to figure out, but it feels like as we have like almost this direct line of communication with our audiences, there's still something that I've been toying with the idea of, in that we really don't have this like direct line with the audiences. Now in a live stream here, it's different, but it feels like we're engaging with the platform, which then will engage with the audience. And so we have to figure out how to make the platform happy, so that way it'll, get to the audience. And it's this really weird middle ground. It's different than a book or an audio book or a video. It's this whole other barrier in front of us. Have you figured any of that out? Have you noticed that as well with what you're doing?
Well, I've noticed that my high effort videos get a lot less audience than my low effort ones. So that's something that I've definitely noticed. I posted a high effort video on Atomic Heart just a couple of days ago, and I don't think I got barely any views on that. So But then I'll post something like, I don't know, just me rambling in front of the camera, and that will then get a lot of attraction. So, yeah, it's very depressing.
It's
Well,
weird.
Well, I think that one of the I was thinking about this earlier this week, and you know, there was a huge centralization that occurred in the internet in the past 15 years, and during that time, everybody got sucked up by these various that are now big tech sites, and those all got to be the big tech sites that they are by connecting consumers and producers as efficiently as possible. But then they had their own momentum. And so, like you were saying, it's no longer about trying to please customers, or, you know what I mean? Like get in touch with your consumers, whether you're making videos or whatever kind of content you're making. And now it's playing games with the algorithm, because that mysterious thing is like such a huge factor of whether or not you even get to be seen by your own subscribers or followers or whatever else. And I think this kind of insanity is going to burn itself out eventually. It's just when, so it's very frustrating in the meantime, though.
Somebody out there has the frustration that we have, and they are smart enough to build an algorithm where it's like, people want to connect with their audience. I'm going to build an algorithm that lets content creators do that, because right now the algorithm isn't for content creators, it's for the audience. And if people's viewing habits aren't so like hyperly specific for like your stuff, the algorithm won't even notify the people who subscribe to you, right? It's like they have to be actively engaged in what you're doing. So it's sad to say, it's like, it's almost like having a subscriber number on your channel or whatever it is doesn't matter, because unless they're actively engaging in what you're doing, the notifications won't go out regardless. And it's something that I've been seeing with my various social media. You see it, it's that thing all of us experience. It's like, well, I have this many people that showed up because they like what I do, but then only this many people see it. And then sometimes I will get private messages from people saying, I haven't seen one of your videos in a while. I have notifications turned on, it's so strange. And I guess Kickstarter does it too. And
they all do it, unfortunately. It's very frustrating, but and one of the problems is that you can build a transparent algorithm. Yeah, exactly, right. That's a perfect analogy. But there are people out there who've built fairly transparent algorithms and hosting services and everything else. But the problem is there's not many people there, so it's a chicken and the egg problem. But I think eventually we're going to get there, and in the relatively near future. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's I was going to say on that note, as far as your videos go, I know that the channel is something like 7 years old.
We originally turned 7. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, I mean, you've been at this for a while. How, I feel like 7 years ago, steampunk was kind of in its just put gears and a pair of goggles on something and it's steampunk. When did you, Royce is having an episode. Oh, no. Okay, never mind.
Baby chick.
No, but
it's a baby chick.
There we go.
It's a turkey neck looking chick, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's gotten picked on. It looks like.
No, it has not. This is actually how they are.
Oh, really?
It's called a Pennsylvania naked neck.
Yeah, it's called a Pennsylvania naked neck, and she's just
my
little.
area.
She's little and she's a sweetheart. Sweetheart. So, hi, little one.
Freudian
She's
slut.
just a baby. She's only She's only a few days old. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, that's my streams now. My wife has the chickens, and she has to show them.
It's like a mandatory intermission moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes my wife happy, and
There
you know
you
what they
go. No,
say
I-
about happy wife.
Yeah.
Happy wife, and you don't sleep in the garage.
There you go.
And this is a Dalmatian chicken. I don't know what that means, but it's got black spots.
My chicken.
Okay, little. All right, guys. I apologize about the interruption, guys.
No, that's all right. I was going to just basically say, how have you seen the because you by all appearances are committed to a more thorough commitment to the steampunk genre, right?
Mhm.
How have you seen things change over the past 7 years in the steampunk space, for lack of a better term?
First of all, I saw we got a Kickstarter donation, so thank you, that person, for the
Hey.
donation. So
Good job.
be like that backer and support the Kickstarter. We've got some amazing ebook packages, and we've also got miniatures for the game collectors among you.
Ooh.
So
Richard,
and
that
I
sounds like
really hope.
something that's up your alley.
I only do stomping robots at the moment, so
Well, I can show you, and I guess it also brings me a little bit to my approach to steampunk. Like this is an extra large one. The plebs
very nice.
get this one. But yeah, they are very
let me
well
blow that
designed miniatures. They look amazing.
There we go.
So they are a great addition to any role players, miniatures, painters collection. This one is not yet done painting, but it's good enough for now.
What is the staff there? I'm sorry.
So okay, so yeah, that's called a veil generator, or in this case, a chandelier, which is basically a veil generator on a staff. And the actually, it's a lamp that it's based on a lamp that we actually made that's now hanging in my living room.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the idea behind it is that because arcology is drifting in this void, like instead of rifts, they've got something that is called tears, which are very violent anomalies that basically spawn creatures at will, and they can appear at any time in places where the veil is thin, which is this barrier. It's one of the more fantastical aspects about the series, I suppose. And what these veil generators do, they kind of like restore the veil where they are. So they're all around arcology to prevent just monsters from spawning in out of nowhere. However, for the scavengers who go into the ruins of Hades itself, they don't have protection like that. So they have these people called prickets, usually like either very inexperienced scavengers or scavengers with a particular set of skills, which could range from cooking to repair duty. They carry these lamps with them, and they take care of these lamps as if they're their own children. Because if these get damaged or destroyed, your party is screwed, essentially. So
interesting. Very, very cool.
But yeah, I also saw a question by somebody how I got into steampunk.
Yes, I did save that. Yeah, that was Swift.
And it also
Sword
kind of
Rush.
like comes into where I believe steampunk is at the moment. Well, I got into steampunk because I'm both a fan of history and well, cyberpunk in particular. For me, steampunk is kind of like cyberpunk in the past. So that's kind of like my basic approach to both the aesthetic and the stories. And that especially becomes very clear when you read The Wrench in the Machine, which, well, kind of also is a reference to the cyberpunk genre. So there's that. And I've always been doing things like that. As a young kid, I like to make cities out of circuit boards, print boards. When those were still big bulky things. I would wreck old radios and take apart all the stuff and make the very old cyberpunk aesthetic. I actually made a video on that for those who are interested, where I talk about that. And that how it comes into steampunk is, well, when I came into steampunk like 2012, it was basically kind of like, it's for some reason, I don't know why, but 2012, that was when steampunk really exploded.
That was right around the BioShock days, if I'm not mistaken.
That was after BioShock, I think.
Well, was it after? When was BioShock
I think
released?
BioShock came
I
out
also
in,
know that a year before that, Justin Bieber actually had a kind of like steampunk-esque
really
Christmas.
Well, yeah, that
video.
would revive it.
With,
Okay, I am completely wrong. 2007. Wow.
Yeah,
steampunk has been around for quite a while.
Yeah, no, I know that.
BioShock was kind of a reemergence of it, I would say.
Yeah.
But
I'm completely
when
wrong.
He really became big in gaming. Became recognized as a viable gaming aesthetic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when it comes to science fiction in general, it always has been very retro-futuristic. When you look at, for example, the lore of BattleTech, or hell, the lore of Warhammer 40k, like there are many references to history, both story-wise as individuals. And when I talk about steampunk, I cut it into 3 different subjects, which is the aesthetic, the community, and the genre, which are very separate things, both when discussing it, but also when it comes to the communities. That's very unfortunate, and one of the biggest issues. Something as a creator myself, the steampunk community. People often refer then to the people who go to the conventions in costumes, but they are not really creators in the sense that I'm a creator. Like, for them, they really care about the social aspect, which they happen to do in costume. And then you've got like the creators who are really in it for the creation, and then their love for science fiction and history. But there is a massive disconnect. I'm more likely to get financial support from communities such as these than I'll get from the costume group of steampunks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they just I don't really understand it, but they don't really care. Like they're very focused on the social aspect in their local communities. That's just a reality that many, steampunk creators, people are actually like writing the stories, creating the work, have to deal with, which is very unfortunate. That seems to be like universal. Even the musicians run into that issue because yes, there is a very sizable community of musicians who use the aesthetic and kind of like that experimental form of music. And they're very well connected among each other, but when it comes to the costume community, there's just no interaction there online.
That's really strange, because usually like-minded people kind of
that's it, but they're not like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So they're not storytellers in the way that I am and I try to do. Like when I created my costuming, I really had the intention of telling a story, interacting with the audiences, and they don't have that drive at all. And I actually had like some very honest discussions with some of these people. Like, they don't, that telling me that they do not understand me. They do not understand what drives a genuinely creative person. And so they see them like as vendors on events. The people who pay for the, they get invited because they pay for the event. Seems to be they're not there to be, the center of attention like on conventions, but they are there to, be there as well, not necessarily set dressing, but something close to that effect, and that's something that really has to change. And yeah, that's something that organizers should really work hard on. I think that's very important. That that the steampunks are aware that if they want better events, if they want like new ideas and new creators, that they need to support their creatives, and that's a massive thing. And it also means like, because the steampunk writers are also a very different set of people. There is no community like in, let's say, the pulp, or the pulp writers are relatively organized. They meet each other at conventions, they talk a lot, they share knowledge. Among many steampunk writers, that's non-existent. There's no steampunk community of authors, unfortunately, that help each other out. I'm one of the few that actually does anything in regards to promoting other steampunks in general, be it music wise, or and bringing creators together. So in that regard, my Discord is probably the biggest collection of steampunk creatives that you'll be able to find. Of course, being creators, they're not on there as often because, well, we are creators and we like to create. Being on social media is not the most productive thing to do, unfortunately. So yeah, and then that's when my books actually start selling, that will probably be one of my first priorities, to ensure that I don't have to do my own promotion anymore, because that will likely take an hour a day, which I could be spending on other things. So
more than an hour, I'd say.
Yeah. With the procrastination that often comes out of that as well. So yeah. That's kind of like where the steampunk community is at right now. That we lack promoters, not like a Drink with Crazy or an Iron Age Media. Steampunk Explorer is doing quite well, but that's the only one I'm aware of right now.
Yeah, I kind of forgotten about this, but back in like 2010, it had to be, because I was bartending at the time. But I was at an event center, is where I would bartend, and they had a steampunk like themed event, and it was very odd because I kind of expected everybody to be like having a good time, you know what I mean? But everybody was very very concerned about, it was very cliquish. It was very strange. I'd never had a like a I just hadn't really thought about that in a long time. But yeah, they were not really generally very friendly people, it seemed like, which was very out of character for what I would have anticipated. So I don't know, maybe they kind of were a bit sour because they feel like, oh, this was my little community of people, and then BioShock came out and now there's all these interlopers. You never know. But as far as the community that you're forming around the Association of Ishtar, you've talked about, kind of like, I don't know how open source you're going in relation to something like the SCP Foundation or something like that, but what's your how do you determine what kind of makes its way into your community, and what sort of how much control and influence do you exercise over the stuff that sort of is sent in, or people who are looking to contribute?
Well, like I said, I think that at the moment, like, I'm really attracting like the people who want to create. Like right now, we've got a cosplayer who's really like, oh, I want to make this costume, and he really wants to get all the details right. He's currently reading a book. He's also supporting the Kickstarter. So okay, well, you can have the proofreader copy then, if you do that. So he did, and now he's making his way through the book. But yeah, at one end, it's really the creative people, the people who are proactive and want to make stuff, and There's like, I think that there are and gamers, people who really like their lore and world building, and uh, especially among steampunk, like there are many talented steampunk writers, but um genre wise, and the same you see in science fiction. Maybe now, with the third season of John of Picard, maybe they're now realizing, oh, we need like a particular set of writers to write science fiction. You cannot do the same thing you do with fantasy, which I think has happened where. And I also blame Arthur for this, that we focus so much on low concept writing with the hero's journey and that type of stuff. Like, oh, this is how you're supposed to write a story. Hero's journey, right? That's the first go-to thing that a lot of writers give you advice about. But for high concept, you can have a hero's journey, but it's high concept is not necessarily about the characters. The characters are an extension of the concept of a world, and that's also how Igraine came to be. People love her character, but it's not necessarily about her. It's about this exploration of a particular situation, and that is how most high concept works. It's an exploration. It's an investigation.
So that leads into a question that, and it gets more into the philosophical and even the psychological, is that, do you feel that the easier concepts like the hero's journey, because the hero's journey is actually one of my, I will latch onto a hero's journey story very, very quickly. I love the concept of them, and there's a couple of them. There's a couple other story arcs that I like. Do you feel that the higher concept types of stories are harder for a lot of readers to grasp? And I'm specifically talking about people's ability to comprehend that stuff. I mean, because reading is one thing, but reading comprehension is a totally different thing. And do you feel that the higher that may cause somewhat of a gap there?
Well, I mean, the best high concept stories are told in a way that you do not feel like you're reading a high concept story, right? That's
fair.
That's the trick. So you've got a feeling like, okay, I'm going with this character on a journey, and I see him grow and develop and make choices during the story. But meanwhile, you're really exploring a larger idea that's outside of the character, and that makes you feel that the world is alive, and all this stuff around the character is happening, and he is just an observer in many cases. But he does react to them.
So
almost
like an eye of the beholder type of
story?
Well,
what I'd say in a good high concept story, the character is as much an observer as he is. Like in a hero's journey, a world is written to challenge one particular character. So everything around the world is centered around the character and his or her tribulations. In a high concept story, the first role of a character is to be an observer. So a lot of the stuff that happens, he has no control over, but you still react to it. So as a reader, you're still feeling, okay, this character's making progress, even though that a lot of the situations that he's in are outside of his control. And that's all the thing about high concept. That's why horror, comedy, all those stuff are high concept. Because it's about situation, it's not about the character necessarily. But if you do it well, if you know what you want to write about and what you want to explore, you can have this character go through it and change because of that. But unlike the low concept story where, the character becomes more powerful and more developed, and then at the end, like, reaches Darth Vader and has this, like, final end boss fight.
Yeah.
High concept does not. Matter of fact, you can get away with high concept having a bad ending. Let's say, like Old Boy, when you look at a movie like Old Boy, that stuff just happens to him. He has no... the character is like this awesome fighter, and there's some amazing fight scenes in there, but then the stuff just happens to him, and then he reacts to that. And now what? That's what I really like about high concept. It can be very surprising, but because high concept is often very focused on like one idea. You get the auteur problem where the creator gets so enamored with this one idea or concept or this moral lesson, everything is just about that and bringing that idea to life at the expense of the characters, and that's one of the big challenges. I think.
What would be just a simple, and you don't, because I understand it can be very hard to explain, but what would be a good way to keep just a simple, and you can give if I'm sure that you've read decent high concept stories. So what's a simple way to keep the reader engaged in a high concept story, and I feel like what would be your go-to book to say, if you're looking for a great high concept story that will keep the reader engaged, what's your go-to, and what's a simple way to do that? Is there a simple way to do that, or am I being too reductive?
Well, you got to have a clear vision. In a way, Blade Runner does it very well.
Okay, that's a good example.
The movie, the book, less so. There are some nice elements to the book as well, but you really need to enjoy that writing style. I saw somebody saw is Legend of Korra steampunk. Not really.
No, that was a jab at me. That was a jab at me.
Okay.
That's old lore. I apologize. My chat absolutely loves to tear me down, and I do apologize. So there's a lot of sarcasm and a lot of jest thrown at me during the stream. Sponsor.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's stuff like, one of the reasons that I wanted to go with the file format was that I assumed it to be a very easy thing for people because it has a lot of tell rather than show. But then as I really started writing, it's a lot harder than I thought. Because when I write these, I only start with a question. What if? That's what how you start with most stories. What if? But then you've got you have these sub questions. And that's in the files you can kind of turn those sub questions into chapters. Like you've got the description, and then you've got the monster has this ability. Okay, well, how does that manifest? And then you figure out, okay, what's a good way to demonstrate that monster's ability? But then you also have to come up with a nice little ending. In high concept, you can end it with a question or a simple remark that kind of changes your perspective, and that's a very hard thing to do, because even if it's a file, which, well, they're official documents, they're not written to be stories, but you still got to give them something of a satisfying ending, something that makes you click oh, I did not look at it that way before. So it's really how, with high concept questions, it's really how do I stimulate critical thinking in my reader, basically. How can I?
Okay, I like that. I like that.
And that's the problem with a lot of the stuff that Hollywood puts out, where they want to provide the reader with the answer. But no, the joy of high concept is that it makes you think, how would I react in that situation? How would I, there's also kind of like what's so appealing about horror, when we talk about like how stupid all the characters are. Like, I wouldn't do that in that situation. That's kind of like the fun about it,
It's why did you go into that room? Like, why run in, where you can't escape? And I wouldn't have gone into that room where I would not have had an escape route.
When I enter a room in a lovely neighborhood, and the first thing is there, this invisible voice, like, "Oh, honey, it's such a wonderful day with like all the grass and the roads are clean, and there's like birds," and then you hear this voice from the house itself, like, "Get out!" Well, unfortunately, we can't stay here.
Yeah. No, that's I like that. I no, that's good. I saved this really quickly, and I'm trying to catch the questions because you're bringing up a lot of good points. Let's see here. I saved this question. So, Fluffy the Spaceman. So what exactly is high concept?
Well, the one way that a lot of writers explain this is that it's basically a story in which the plot can be summarized in one simple what-if question. Here's one you probably recognize. What if man can boldly go where no man has gone before? And in case
Wait, did you say that? What if one man can go boldly?
What is to boldly go where no man has gone before?
Yes, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Yes.
So what if he can boldly go where no man has gone before?
Yeah.
What if you're being chased by an ex-murderer in a suburb? Questions like that. That's basically the central premise. A lot of writers do high concept without even realizing it. I recently had an interview with an actor, and they basically, what if Aladdin happened in a cyberpunk setting? Stuff like that. So, we can take it anywhere. Like Old Boy, a guy gets locked up in a room. Like, how did he get there? Stuff like that. So it's often very situational. That's why a lot of comedy films are high concept. Things like Knocked Up. About a couple who gets pregnant.
Wow, I haven't thought of that movie in a long time.
I used it as an example for a video. So that's the only reason. I'm not even sure if I've seen it, but
I've seen parts of it. Not my particular type of humor, but I know the movie, and I've seen bits and pieces of it. No, that's I like that you're keeping it grounded, and you're and I like that you're pointing out the idea of a high concept story. Daniel, are you sleeping?
No, I'm wide awake.
I'm sorry.
Meditating.
We have a man. This man woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and you're
just
over
woke up.
here.
He's fresh.
Just
He's fresh
snoozing
and ready for the
on
day.
a chair. How, Daniel, sir? So it obviously
He's not
it's
even
Saint,
finished with his drink. Is the real
I
sad
know
part.
it's St. Patrick's.
This is number 3, bro, and it's only 1 hour and 50 minutes into the stream.
Oh my God. So
I did not even get an opportunity to make my gin and tonic.
oh no,
That's awful
I
early
will-
for a gin and tonic. I don't know.
I will have to. I will have to make this promise to you, Bonzart, one day that I will do what you are doing, and I will do the early morning thing, and I'll have a coffee, and you'll be able to enjoy an evening beverage one of these days. So, but I love the way that you're describing the high concept stuff and saying that some authors get so lost into it, and they get kind of and maybe. I hope the lingo, because again I'm not well traveled, but I hope the lingo here, hoity-toity, right? The the pish, the poshness of some of the writers comes through and stuff like this. And you're saying, no, like comedies do it well. You see it all the time. And it's simply answering the just kind of a what if question that's out of nowhere. What, and it's just, it is something crazy like that, what if Adam Sandler was put into a Jason movie, like how does
that is a high concept right there. Yeah.
I mean, but that's how, but for somebody who is, and I'm not gonna lie, first time hearing high concept writing on a stream, because I've never just delved into it. Again, I'm a movie and TV guy, and getting into the reading the books, that's something I wanted to do because I want my children to see their father read, right? And I asked God how I'm going to do this, and now all of a sudden I'm interviewing authors every week on my channel. I don't know how that works, but I'm glad that it did. And so for somebody who's sitting here going, okay, what is high concept? How do I wrap my brain around it? And as you're explaining it, I'm like, okay, Jason, Adam Sandler, what if? Like, yes. And you say, no, that's the concept. How do you answer that question? And also, don't be posh about it. Don't be arrogant. Don't think that you know more than the audience does, and just go with the question naturally. I like the groundedness of that answer. And I'm glad that you're aware enough of it to give a grounded answer like that, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to make a guy like me understand that, and you did. And I like when people can do that, because I'm a construction worker. I'm a construction worker. I understand crude language, right? Crude language, crude jokes make me understand high concept, and you were able to do that. And it's great when you can take something grand and make simple guys understand it. That's the mark of a good storyteller. And I think you're onto something.
Well, I do get a lot of compliments for the world building. First of all, I always wanted to be an educator. I'm just not suitable for public education, but I really hope when
me neither
selling and I can like delegate work, so to speak, I can make more time to give workshops again, which are enjoyed by novice writers and also professional writers who are far more experienced than myself. But I also get a lot of compliments for the world building. I think Lord Otter talks a little bit about it in his review of Bound for the Sticks. And one of the things that for me for world building is, how do you embrace the reader? Like I said, how do you create immersion? And one of the things that really turned me off from reading books is like authors trying a lot of words at me that I do not know the meaning of. Especially if I require a thesaurus to read a book, that doesn't really engross me. So I try to keep my science fiction terminology like grounded in a simple way. Like scav means scavenger. Kip is derived from Kipple, which is again from Blade Runner, reference right there. And so most terminology is pretty plain, pretty simple. I try to avoid exposition wherever possible. So I'm really focusing on having my characters interact with the world. So, and I know this is also when I'm writing, when I put in a more narrative statement, like, I don't know, the water is blue. You can also write, well, the character is swimming through the water, no need to clarify the color, stuff like that. I'm really also very focused on that. In every sentence, a character is doing something. So the characters are always interacting with the world.
Well, and there's a certain amount of trust in your reader there too. No need to explain something that your reader already understands. That there's trust in the reader as well.
Well, I mean, for me, a good writer, good world building is you can make the most mundane sound like a story into itself. Like, how do you make a character picking up a glass interesting? Well, as a writer, you're gonna have to learn how to do that. Turning on your computer into an adventure. That is, for me, a good world building. Um, Sometimes you just require to put a lot of detail into one single action of a character pressing a doorbell. And you gotta learn like when is a good time for such detailed writing, and when can I say, well, after pressing the doorbell, the guy opened up. Um, so a lot
Yeah.
of thought in when do you do what? When do you need to highlight what?
Yeah, it's always, how much do you explain? Do you explain like, do you say, he reached his hand out and pressed the doorbell and, waited anxiously for the door to
Exactly.
open for the
Exactly.
man on the other side, or do you
Yeah.
explain it as like, you know, um, he got to the door and rang the doorbell and just waited. Like how quickly do you explain it? Does he, you know, he, you, do, how do you
When do you need to build tension, and when do you just want the story to just get on with it? And that's one thing, and that's why reading your work over and over again is so necessary. So you feel like, the rhythm of the scene just doesn't feel right. What's one sentence then turns into five. That's something that I came across a lot. It's, yeah. Yeah, that's the rough part, and that's why I always tell people, if you before writing a book, just write short stories. Get a feel for what your style is, and so you don't have to re-edit your books over and over again, because 130,000 words is a lot of work to edit. So
unless you
Sure
need
is.
it done in 48 hours, and in that case, we have Daniel P. Riley over here. Sorry, he did some speed work for a fellow friend of the channel, Brian Asher, and
Yep.
so it's,
Yes, that book right there that Richard was
yes.
pointing to.
Yep, that would be this one right here.
There we go.
But yeah, I try to shout out authors as much as I can. No,
48-hour full edit.
wow.
And no, yeah, that was incredible. That was, and also it was fun to see the chats that Daniel had during his 48-hour full edit, because he was very stressed out, and it's really fun to poke the bear during those times. But
Oh man,
Bonzart,
brain was
we're
bleeding out of my ears.
Bonzart, we're getting close to that time where we actually turn it over to the chat, and we just have fun with them for the last little bit. And by the way, if for some reason you feel that you want to go at that time, you're more than welcome to. And obviously, if you stick around for any longer, you're more than welcome to stick around and continue promoting what you're doing. And I'll keep dropping the links down in the chat. But before we turn it over to the chat, is there anything that you haven't mentioned so far that's that special thing that you want to mention about your project before we turn it over to the chat, start reading super chats, and start having a little bit of it gets a little wild. My chat is, you'll find out.
Gotcha. We already discussed so much. Like it's an enormous universe at this point. So if you're looking for a series with a lot to explore, this might be something for you. Like I said, I feel like we're still at the beginning of the adventure. So we'll see how it develops. Please spread the word. And we have a community on Discord that is now becoming more and more active as well. We are working on a Discord. Members of the community are trying to summarize what I've written so far. And we also have stuff for authors who are trying to learn or want feedback on stuff they're trying out. There's a lot going on. So and I'm doing my best to pump out content. So
Awesome.
Yeah. Please
Oh,
support
like
the Kickstarter. It really helps me pay my artists.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been dropping the link like crazy for the Kickstarter. No, absolutely, guys. This is and I like to drop the short links because YouTube actually shows them. And sometimes if you drop the long links, YouTube will corrupt them and it's not good. But here's the short link, guys.
There we go.
Go support the Kickstarter because, and I have to say it, there have only been two video promotions that I've ever been really impressed by when it comes to what these smaller creators are doing, and Bonsart's one of them. Bonsart was the first one that I noticed. And I say that because for those who haven't done video editing and the sound and all that, guys, I'm telling you, when a guy puts that much work just into the video that he's using to promote his work, the level of care that he's going to have for the actual thing that he cares about is going to be tenfold. And that's why I take notice to the video editing, because I like video editing. I actually want to get to a point where I have more time in my day to do videos like what Bonsart is doing for my channel, because I like that stuff. It's fun for me to do that. And I'm telling you, when a guy puts that much work into a video, which is not his primary passion, but when he puts that much work into a video to promote his passion, I promise you, if you go and you support the Kickstarter, if you go and you support what he's doing, you're going to get your money's worth out of it, because that's what he's truly passionate about. And I mean it. I see the things that he's doing. I see what he's doing, and I know how hard some of those tricks are to do, some of the fades and some of the different camera angles and the lighting, especially. Lighting is a pain in the eye. I do not have good lighting, and I wish that I did. It's a pain to get all of that stuff figured out. So, and again, it's just that little thing that I can notice that I go, yeah, this guy's working his tail off, and you guys should support somebody who's going to work their tail off, because at the end of the day, hard work is what everybody should strive to do. And because at the end of the day, when you lay your head on the pillow, that's the thing we can all be proud of. So
yeah, if you like that editing, we actually did make some videos for the Association of Ishtar with similar editing. And voice actor.
Is there one that is there a video that you like that I can pull up? I have your YouTube channel pulled up.
We've got the White Zeppelin. I think if you are on the main page of the channel, let me see if I can put it up without, my trailer going off on me.
Yeah, that happens to me quite a bit too.
Yeah. It should be the first playlist on the main page.
It's first playlist on the main page. There's
shorts.
P12,
the White Zeppelin, and the Horror of Quizzes, and the Steampunk City of Arcology.
Is it under playlists on Radio Retrofutre?
It should be like on the homepage, but.
Oh, it's on the homepage. Okay, I was not on the homepage. That was my mistake. Okay, yes, P12, the White Zeppelin. Okay, so yeah, let's take a little bit of a look at this here, because again, stupid ads. Ugh. I hate ads. I mean, I like ads because they do, they pay their creators, but also ads, right? Like that's the thing that is just, it's never good. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to present. And here we go.
Old logo.
Warning. This entry is intended for members of the Chair and Special Committee Icarus only. Any and all reports regarding P12 are to be restricted and directed to Special Committee Icarus for registration. The following is a top secret document addressed to heads of state and their respective secretaries concerned with national security. Official statement by the Regulatory Board of Rift-related activity. To all it may concern, in this statement, the chair of the Association of Ishtar intends to address questions and concerns raised by various parties regarding P12. For brevity, we'll answer some of the frequently raised concerns in the following 4 points. Is P12 preternatural in nature? The answer is yes. Can and must P12 be intercepted?
So for those who can't hear this, the right-left separation here between the keyboard and the voice itself, and these are those little things. You've got about an 80-20 split on the voice, so there's enough transference from the right to left speaker, but you have the keyboard on one side and the voiceover work on the other side to give that spatial sound to where this is the stuff that these are the tiny details that a lot of people don't understand that are key things for like, Bonzart. God, I love your editing. Oh my God.
The answer is no. Is P12 a threat? The answer? Possibly. Has the association devised any defense measures to stop P12? The answer is again, no. Despite its mundane appearance, that being a white zeppelin, P12 is a sentient entity with defensive and offensive capabilities unrivaled by known human military, on this plane or elsewhere. Ignoring it is, until adequate measures have been developed, the most reasonable course of action. Up till now, P12 has only been aggressive when provoked, like in the case of the Sesame Coastal Battery that got destroyed in 1869. See the excerpt P12-C attached to this letter. In that regard, P12 is not a direct threat, but because it ignored all past attempts to communicate, its origin or motivations can't be ascertained. To demonstrate its known offensive abilities, we have included a synopsis of Incident P12-C on the Anatolian coast. Attachment P12-C. On the 17th of February, 1869, the coastal town of Sesma was woken up by a loud impact that devastated a nearby gun emplacement.
Okay, that is fantastic. I'm going to share the link to that video right now. That is, wow. Sorry. There's a lot of small things in there. Especially with the audio. Just, man, that is great.
You have not even come to our original photography, so.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this, Bonzart. I'm not. I get a little too excited.
It's 70 minutes, so yeah. But yeah, it's we actually did a special photo shoot for this, so you get like actual people in costuming later on, and even some film. And I had the honor to work with a professional photographer who, doesn't usually get to do stuff like this. Most of his stuff is wedding photography, like most professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then he was like able to pull out everything, and there we go.
No, and like, man, I said this on a live stream, and I was invited onto a live stream to do an interview yesterday. It was with John A. Douglas, and I said on that live stream, I said my goal is not to sell to people the projects of the people that I have on my stream, right? I said it like this. I said, I'm not here to sell you Star Wars, right? I'm not here to sell you the next Star Wars. That's not what I want to do. I want to sell my chat. I want to sell the people who subscribe to my channel. I want to sell them the next George Lucas. Right? That's my goal. That's why I kind of ask the off-the-wall questions, and I don't really get into the writer side of stuff. I want to get into the Bonzart side of things instead of just the retro, Radio Future side of things, because I want to sell you and the guy that you are to the people watching this right now, because I'm going to be honest, to me, you're the selling point, right? The guy that puts in the hard work, the guy that separates the audio of the typewriter and the voice that I just heard. Because I could hear that. The way the audio is mixed, the way that the videos are produced, the way that when and people don't know this, but when you turned your camera on and you put your set together in the background before you got on camera, those little notes of care. I want to sell you, and just I don't know. You're just demeanor and everything. Every time I see you, I see there's something about you that just makes me happy, because I'm like, I see the level of care that you have, and it's from the first, like, and you messaged me on Facebook, and I don't think I got back to you for like a month because I'm terrible at this.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I think I messaged you like a month later, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so terrible. But it's little things. And for some reason, at least with you, it's easy to pick up on those little things. And I like that, because I see the hard work that you're doing. I see, it's easy to see those little things with you. And what's so cool is that I get to point it out to other people, and I get really excited. I get really, really excited, like a kid who just saw his new favorite cartoon on TV, and I get, no. But did you notice this little thing? And did you notice that little thing? And like, I don't know. There's just something about you, man. There's just something about you that just speaks to me in a way that makes me excited to be like, Radio Retrofutre, guys, it's gonna be awesome. You know how I know it's gonna be awesome? Because I see what this guy is doing. And you might not see it, but I see it. And let me tell you about how great the little things are that I see, so that way you can get excited for his product. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm a very strange interviewer, and I apologize, but it's really how I feel. And I'm not gonna hide that. I'm gonna, because maybe if I point out your hard work to people in the way that I see it, maybe that makes them go, oh, wait a minute. He's got a point there.
It would be nice. I especially want to invest in art so I can make more videos like this. It takes a lot of time, and so I really hope to get more people involved so I can start producing videos like this again, and then more original stuff. And experiment with it as well. Like I already kind of like write my books as audiobooks. For flow. I love to make more videos at some point again. Right now I'm just flooding the work, and I really want to get the next novel that's out as well at some point. So we'll see how it goes. Big adventure.
You're funded on your Kickstarter, so congratulations for sure.
That's like the Kickstarter goal, so I don't have to fret too long on it. I hope to reach like somewhere around 3,000.
I think with Kikomon kicked you up to 2, so you're.
And then $2,000. I'm seeing it in euros, but very, very generous, sir. Thank you very much.
Kikomon's the man.
Yes, and it's St. Paddy's Day, so the drunker Kikomon gets, the more money he gives.
This is. I was gonna say, if I'd been thinking, I should have launched my crowdfunder on St. Paddy's Day. This would have been strategic timing.
Oh, good Lord! Well, gentlemen.
Now think about, maybe I should have had like a special like St. Patrick's Day offer. God damn it!
There you go.
Wow, capitalize on the drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
All of us missed that one. Wow. Oh, you know what? I should have capitalized on it and been like, hey guys, for every super chat that comes in, Daniel will take a drink, and hopefully we can just have chair by the end. I should have done that. That would have been a great contest.
Practically did that anyway, so yeah.
Right, well, I know. Oh yeah, but like, well, Also, there's alcohol poisoning to think about. So I
Yeah,
probably
I
shouldn't.
just happened to be binging South Park
Number
today.
4, ladies and gentlemen.
Patrick's episode.
Oh, you've been binging South Park?
Yeah, I hadn't watched it for quite a while. So, and then I came across the South Park episode about St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah.
That show is. How does and that's that's something. How does that show? Because that show is just unbelievably American. How does that come across in the other parts of the world? Is it just make us? Does it make the Americans look look terrible or?
Well, I think when it comes to
No worse
South
than we
Park,
already
and
do.
what makes it such a great series is that it really holds up a mirror, right, to its audience. And when it comes to European culture has adopted a lot of the American culture, so a lot of people are more engaged with American politics than they are with European politics. So
It's because American politics is a reality TV show at this point.
yeah, I think that's what's so appealing about it for many people. Yeah, and but South Park is speaks to a deeper thing, where you've got, like, let's say the first or second season of Picard, for instance. It's really like to lambast one side of the political aisle. South Park is far more focused on, okay, well, what should we really be learning from this situation? Again, kind of like that high concept style of writing. It's high concept writing what they're doing,
Yeah.
And then that makes all the difference. They always try to find a way, like, okay, what is the lesson we should be putting forward in a way that's not condescending to its audience, and they don't really care who they're offending while doing it either. So they try to be bipartisan, I believe, and I think that really helps it transcend, the yes, it's very American, but it transcends that by including more of a moral lesson in there, that by asking questions that people really should be focusing on, rather than, oh, look at how stupid Trump looks as Mr. Garrison.
Well, no, and that's it's like I said, I asked that question because I'm not a well-traveled person, but YouTube affords me the ability to talk with people from all over the world now. And I actually get to ask questions to people on the other side of the world. Hey, how is all this perceived? Hey, how do you look at this? And then my favorite question to ask people from other sides of the world: what is your favorite recipe from your homeland? And can you send it to me, because my wife is an amazing cook. And if I don't get to travel to other parts of the world, the least I can do is ask people from other parts of the world what's their favorite thing, and I can try to make it here at home so I get a little taste of their home in my home. That's one of my favorite questions to ask.
Yeah. The Dutch cuisine is very bland. Unfortunately, this is a remnant from the Second World War, a matter of fact. But yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, in Dutch it's called boerenkool. It would translate into, I don't know, farmer's lettuce or something. But yeah, it's just this particular type of lettuce mixed with potatoes and maybe some seasoning, and that's about it, really. So, but I really like it.
No, but that could go. I mean, lettuce, potatoes mixed with seasonings. I mean, I would imagine that would be that could go well with a meat or a
sausage usually, yeah.
Corned beef and cabbage.
Let me see what it's called in English. I have
What's
no
the correct
idea.
day for that?
I have
That's the stuff right there.
like I said,
Kale is apparently called in English.
What is it?
Kale.
Oh, kale. Yeah, no, kale is
Kale is horrible.
No, it's not horrible. You have to know how to cook.
It's horrible.
No, it's not horrible.
Yes,
Don't listen to him,
is.
Bonzar. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, I love kale. I do.
You have to know how to cook it. Anything can be good if you know how to cook it. Don't listen to them, Bonzar. They're uncultured. They're uncultured. So says the construction worker. So says the untraveled construction worker. They're uncultured. So no, I that's what I love.
Yeah, we abandoned New Amsterdam for a reason. That's all I'll say about it.
There you go.
Well, it's have you interacted with Black Knight, the writer of Star Shatter, at all?
Very briefly. I think I invited him on my show once, but I don't think anything came out of that. So.
Right. He sent me, and we haven't had a chance to make them yet, but a recipe for Bulgarian meatballs, and we haven't had a chance to make them yet. But it's things like that. Like I said, food is unique in that it can introduce people to other people in a way that nothing else can, right? There's no language on the planet, there's no song, there's no dance, there's no movie that can introduce someone to your culture and to the things that you appreciate, like food. And I really believe that food is an art form in a way that nothing else is. But before I keep gushing about things like that, I think we should probably turn it over to the chat.
Chat time.
We've had a couple of. I was gonna say, actually, I think there's a Kiko chat relevant.
I've been saving a bunch of them. I have been saving quite a few of them.
If one of them isn't play the Kikomon song, I'll be very upset.
Well,
right. Actually, Kikomon has been asking me to play some of Evelyn Music's songs, and did.
It's good stuff.
And I haven't had a chance to I need to start building a file folder of all the Iron Age musicians, so that way I can plug those songs into my into my daily upload videos.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of music, I've got a request because we made our Kickstarter goal in less than 24 hours, 8 hours, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
I said I would look into commissioning a song for the Association of Ishtar. So if there are musicians out there who are interested in reading the books and making something inspired by those, let me know.
There you go. Evela, JVP, or Chill Kid.
Evela, JVP, Chill Kid, and there's a few others that are not as active in the community, but between those three and/or a combination of all of those three, you could come out with some absolutely incredible sounds.
For sure.
They're unbelievably talented. This little corner of the internet has surprised me with the level of talent that has come out of it, because usually you think of indie stuff and you're okay, yeah, you got some work to do, and there are people out there that are just mind-boggling, and you're just like, wait a minute, you're an indie? Yeah, no, I'm just getting my start. No. What you're doing right now is what most professionals look like, and you're just it just shows you the level that we're at. Like, the bar has been raised. So, okay. So, time for some super chats, and the chat has been wanting Daniel to sink lower. They're waiting for it. Daniel's.
I'm gonna get myself something to drink real quick.
Absolutely.
How low can I go?
Right, Kikomon for $5 says, hit the like button so Royce can have soy sauce on his sunny side up eggs. Show me, show you. Kikomon.
Correct.
Hit the like button, please, but I am not doing soy sauce on eggs. That's a sacrilege.
Get in the corner.
My wife comes out. She goes, "I'd do it."
I'd do anything for $20.
She goes, she'd do anything for $20. Wow.
Oh Lord, there's gonna be a $20.
I'm not gonna make that joke. I was nope. Imagine what she'll do for a house. Anyway. Okay. Kikomon for $2. Got a lot of Kiko chats here. Kikomon for $2. Rant about airsoft versus paintball. I actually, believe it or not, I don't have a rant about airsoft versus paintball at all. Because I actually made a lot of friends with both airsoft and paintballers, and a lot of people go kind of back and forth between the two. Airsoft can be cheaper in the off, especially on like the ammo portion of it, and that's kind of what that's kind of what appealed to me. Even when you buy like high dollar like airsoft ammo, like I've had really high dollar airsoft ammo, because I actually haven't, well, and probably not because it hasn't been tuned up in a year, but I've got an airsoft M14 EBR that was completely custom shopped on the internals from a buddy of mine, and that thing will hit 100 yards. I can nail a target. My furthest target I ever hit was about 270 feet away. They were on top of about a 15-foot tall hill, and I actually took the shot, and they ducked behind some hedges, and I actually nailed them with it. So that ammo was about 2.5 cents a round think about it, a plastic BB cost me. So every time I hit the double tap, it was a nickel. So, but there's a lot of geometry, a lot of math, a lot of stuff. It's, you can make those things really good. But yeah, no, I actually don't have a rant about airsoft versus paintball. I think both of them are fantastic sports. And I think both of them, one, can have their toxic sides, two, can have their really beneficial sides, and three, fantastic exercise. For people out there going, oh, I just need an excuse to get more exercise. Get into airsoft, get into paintball. I'm telling you right now, you'll like the running and just the raw exercise and the cardio from it. Absolutely fantastic on both fronts.
This may be the lowest Daniel's ever been, I think. I
know. I thought there was one.
I'll get further. Trust
me. He's about to get out of the chair.
I was gonna say we're just gonna see a thumb here in a while.
Yeah.
So Kikomon for $5 says I ended up donating. Is it more profitable for creators? Let me know. So is it more profitable for you if somebody just donates versus donates and if they just want to donate instead of getting like the book, if they just want to
well, I mean, when it comes to digital products, it doesn't really matter because
it's really
the benefit of digital products. Physical books, yeah, and then I have more expenses getting the books produced and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you want to support it, get yourself some digital content. That doesn't cost me extra. So yeah, and like I said, just $1. And we also have like a special tier I did not mention. If you ever want to get your likeness or your characters included in our stories, we do have a draw-in tier. Where you
don't tell Kikomon that.
Oh God, yeah! Don't tell Kikomon that. He will.
You're gonna end up with a Kikomon scav.
Yeah,
he is not wrong.
Might be an interesting challenge, but yeah, eventually they will get like their own lore and backstory. So
wow.
So I will make them up themselves, but I included an example somewhere down the line, inspired by one of my most loyal supporters, and he now has his own scav lookalike in the series, and I already came up with like an idea for him to include him in future stories, and I can also write you a story if you want. If you have got a concept you want to include in the world, you can bribe me for that as well during the Kickstarter campaign.
Wow. Where do you find the time?
Well, you have to make it. Yeah,
You're not. Yeah, I get that.
I'm not saying that it will not be quick. Like
Right.
it will not be done in a week. But I have this whole folder with story ideas, and what I basically do is, I type a little bit about it. Like, okay, this is something that I could do with it, and this is like conversations that could happen, and this could be a scene that could be included to explore this concept. And then and sometimes I let it rest for a year or so, before getting back to it. Now, of course, for this tier, I will work a bit quicker than that, but that's kind of like how I do it.
Wow, you work way too hard. That's insane. I have to figure out how to optimize my time. No one's gonna do it
for me, so
well, no, you're not right.
I keep asking people, but
Right. Yeah, that's where you're like, hey, I just need to make a lot of money so I can just pay people to do this thing.
Yeah, that's what I eventually hope to do as well.
That's what ghostwriters are for.
Also a service offered by Mr. Daniel P. Horizon Talker says, question. And this is not a super chat, but I do try to grab some of these here and there. Question. Has Bonzart read Phil and Kasha Folio's steampunk comic girl genius? If so, who is his favorite Jaeger?
I read some very long ago. Fuck yeah, was definitely somebody I still want to have on the show, but I'm so busy with writing my own stuff, I barely get around to reading anything what anyone else does. So,
Yeah, understandable.
So
I have to make time.
I should remedy that. I should be watching a lot more comics and stuff, but yeah. But I read a little bit of the webcomic very long ago.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
I got it.
No, I had to sit up. It got too hard to drink.
It got too hard. Yes. Daniel doesn't drink throughout the week. He drinks one night a week, and it happens to be the night that we interview people.
Hey, it's called the Drink with Crazy, folks.
Yes. I apparently inspire alcoholism, so that's my claim.
Just on Fridays.
Yes. Kikomon.
It'd be a problem if I was doing it all week.
Yes. It would. Kikomon for $5 says, Royce, you skipped on Emily's song on the previous stream. I did not skip on Emily's song on a previous stream.
How dare
I went through the Twitter post as I do every week, and Emily's music was not in the Twitter post. And them's the rules. You got to follow the rules, because if I don't set boundaries and rules for some of this stuff, it can get really.
Yeah,
rude.
I got shortchanged on that one. His statement was literally, "That's a lot of text," and then he just scrolled down.
I'm sorry. Oh crap! I did that. Oh
yeah, you did.
Sorry. Wow. I'm a jerk. I apologize. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. He's liquored up enough to show for himself tonight.
It's true. It's true. So. God, I hope so.
Please
play
unintelligible rambling at this point.
Right. He says, please play this song. It is awesome. See the link below. And I told Kikomon he's got it, and he just shared the song. So let me, I will open that link in a new tab. It is a song. I will play this from Evely Music. He also sent in another super chat to do this. So this is a song from Evely Music over on his Bandcamp. This is called Over Encumbered. Hopefully, oh wait, no, it's StreamYard. I better share it, because if I just hit go, StreamYard won't do it. And StreamYard is an interesting little app. But yeah, let's play. We'll play. I won't play the whole thing, but we'll play a little bit of it, right? dissonance. Interesting. A lot of people do that. Interesting. You know what this reminds me of? And it's probably okay. So guys, go check out Evely Music, and I'm going to pause it right there. But guys, go check out Evely Music, and you know, what that reminds me of is probably just because I've been watching a decent chunk of anime lately, because predominantly I can just turn my brain off and enjoy. That reminds me of a track that you would hear in like the epic anime battles that happen. And I like the dissonance that you were doing in there. Not a lot of people go with the grunge style dissonance, especially today, Evely Music. But I heard it. I know what you did, because I also do that in some of my songs too. Because I grew up during the grunge era, and like, yeah. So no, I'm also trying to math your music and figure out why your breakdown sounded like it changed time, and it didn't. You did something there on the offbeat. Anyway, that's more musician speak, but yeah, he did something there on the offbeat. But no, Evely Music is another fantastic music, and he doesn't just do that style of music. He does quite a few different styles of music. So no. And he's just a fantastic. He's a supporter over on Gilded, which is where I tell all my supporters to go. I tell people that, you know, if you want to support the channel, don't become a member on YouTube, because YouTube hates its creators at this point. Go over to my Gilded, which is like Discord, and become a supporter over there, because that's I choose from my Gilded and my drinkwithcrazy.locals.com to bring people onto my supporter streams. And Evely Music, I got to meet him, and he's such a great guy. And just passionate about what he does, and I love it. So
very creative.
No, and I'm glad that Kikomon's here. Like, hey, shout these guys out. And I'm like, oh yeah. No, I should do that thing. All right, Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge, for $5 says #unleash the wig.
Wig of Destiny.
So, the Wig of Destiny. Yes, Bonzard, are you familiar with that lore on my channel? And you may not be, and that's totally fine.
No, I'm not that active on Gilded now.
No. And so,
did you know that Royce?
Yes.
That's actually a wig.
Yes,
can you believe that?
Yes,
it's very good.
Yeah, it's a wig. It's
well done.
I glued it on when I was
allegedly.
I did this video. I think I was talking about the Tim Pool controversy, and I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Pool at all.
Yeah, I am familiar with him. I followed him from very early on, but then I lost interest in him.
Yeah. So I did this video about Tim Pool with the just a recent controversy that kind of happened, and somebody and some guy came on my channel and made a very, very descriptive comment on my channel about how he knew exactly how I was wearing a wig, because apparently my forehead moves, but like my hairline doesn't, and that's the dead giveaway for wearing a wig.
Allegedly.
And so, yes, and so I had a lot of fun with that. I posted all over social media. I was like, hey guys, I take the wig off tomorrow on my live stream, because I do my live streams every Sunday where I read comments.
Wig reveal. Scalp reveal.
Yeah, the wig reveal. I'll take it off. And I literally sat there and tugged on my hair for a while and whatnot, and had fun with it. And ever since then, the Wig of Destiny has been born. So if you see people talking about the wig down in chat, that's... because you have to have fun with people that just come in to just trash you once in a while. It's like, yeah, you know what? This guy's an idiot. Let's have some fun. So, Fluffy the Spaceman. Oh, we did that one. What exactly is high concept? So that was good. Kikomon for $5. We did play the Evely Music, and we did share that. So we did play that one. Fantastic. Kikomon for $20. I will bring my original joke because it is great. Oh no. Oh no. This is an original Kikomon
Here we
joke.
go.
Yep. Well, hey, we're after the 2-hour mark, so I can say
Yes.
just about anything on YouTube.
Kiko jokes.
What is the oh no. What is the difference? He's said this one before. What is the difference between a gay guy and a fridge? A fridge doesn't fart when you pull your meat out. I heard Richard's wife in the background go, what the fuck?
No, that was my daughter.
Oh, that was your daughter.
I was going to say.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
That was my daughter.
I felt guilty for being tame, so my repeat joke is unleashed. Your daughter in the background was like,
just cracking up. She's like, what the fuck was...
Welcome to my chat. Welcome to my chat. I keep them slightly better on Sundays only because I think most of them know that I think most of them know that like my mom watches. And so like they'll even come after me. They're like, Royce, it's Sunday, your mom's watching. Don't cuss. And I'm like, I know. Yeah. So my chat gets really, really good on Sundays. Friday nights, no. It's no. But then on Sundays, they're like, Royce, how dare you? I'm like, she watches the Friday streams too, guys. And for $5, Bonzart, 1 out of 10. Would you like to hear the Kikomon song? If so, nag Royce. Oh God, we may end up having to play the Kikomon song.
Do I want to hear the Kikomon song?
Oh no!
I'll ask you.
Yes.
I was gonna say if you haven't heard the Kikomon song, I think it would give you a lot of insight into the kind of scav that he might want to be drawn as and what sort of story he might want to have.
Oh,
yeah. Might be
I'm gonna have to
important
play the
research
Kikomon
information. That's all I'm saying.
Kikomon.
All right.
Kikomon.
Oh no! This is yes. This is my chat. So are you familiar with like Shad M. Brooks, like Shadiversity, and Friday Night Tights?
I'm not a watcher, but I know what it is. Yes.
Okay. And are you familiar with John Della Rose?
I spoke to him twice actually. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Great dude.
So and the reason that I ask you those questions is because Kikomon likes to send in very, very, very large super chats, right? Requesting that channels like Gary from Nerdrotic on the Friday Night Tights, Shad M. Brooks on his show, John Della Rose on his show, Mike, I don't know how much money he sent to Mike S. Miller. I think you know. Are you familiar with Mike S. Miller?
No, I'm not.
Okay, he DC Comics artist, worked for DC and Marvel. He is actually the guy who's doing Shadiversity's graphic novel from his book.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Kikomon has gotten this Kikomon song, which is not something that he did. It's just he saw this video years ago and just fell in love with it, thought it was hilarious, and that's where the internet Kikomon was made, right? This is the origin story of the Kikomon. The man has spent probably thousands of dollars at this point online and gotten this song played literally everywhere.
Yes.
And it's in
practically every Iron Age night so far.
I'm gonna be honest. I think this song at this point is bigger now. Kikomon Soy Sauce needs to pay this guy because of how much he is promoting their product. But yeah, so there, like I said, there's a lot of lore here. There's a lot of channel lore here, but this will give you some insight.
Here we go.
And this is an old early internet video.
See, Royce? The cat is Royce.
Don't go there with me.
Great
The ad at the end.
Yeah, the
Great
ad at the end.
content.
Oh my goodness, Lord. Yes, so yeah, the early internet video, though, that old flash style video, man. That's yeah. Oh, good Lord.
It wouldn't surprise me. This would be an actual commercial in Japan for soy sauce.
Exactly.
You know, and everybody thought it was, and then when we all found out, because I thought I was going to get copyright struck for sure, and we all found out that no, that was literally just somebody having fun on the internet. We're like, no, there's no
Yes.
way, and it
Even
was.
I was
And
really hoping to you know, spread some misinformation about it being a real ad, but you know.
Oh, I know. Well, you
It
know,
wouldn't
the
be the
internet is
strangest
both
one.
great for misinformation and crushing one's hopes and dreams. So, the
True.
internet has a way of doing it. Kikomon for $20 says soy sauce on sunny side up egg or on sunny side up. Rose, make him do it on shorts. Oh God, no!
Yes.
You
Make
already
my wife
agreed
cook
to
me
it.
sunny side up eggs. So they're
Yes.
gonna make my big titty goth girl, trad wife, cook me sunny side up eggs, and I have to eat it with soy sauce. Oh,
And if
goodness.
you don't, you go stand in the corner. Royce is the cat, folks.
But safely away from, you know, shelves or anything else that you might.
Man, I wasn't going to go there.
I'm just looking out for his Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so glad that they didn't get ruined. I'm so glad that they did that. I don't have a lot of stuff from like being a kid, and like the fact that I actually have some stuff that's like mildly valuable. Oh man. Well, gentlemen, we have reached. I think we're all caught up. We've reached that time of the night. It's time for the final shout outs of the projects that we are working on. So I will give Mr. Bonsart, Radio Retrofutre, our fantastic guest who woke up at like 2:30 in the morning to do this for us. Thank you so much, sir. I will give you your final shout out for the evening, and then I will go over to my co-hosts, and we'll let you get back to sleep.
Yes. Sleep is good.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna end on well, folks. I'm Monster Bokel, creator of the YouTube channel Radio Retrofutre and the Association of Ishtar. You can support us in various ways, but first off, please support the Kickstarter, and otherwise there's options like Subscribestar and Patreon, and of course we've got a wonderful Discord community if you want to know more, and we've got all manner of free content on the website as well, such as short stories and stuff, and of course on our YouTube channel as well. And with that, folks, I guess I'm gonna bid you adieu and make things your way.
There you go.
I love
There you
that.
go. Yeah.
Make things
But for
your way.
breakfast, obviously you're gonna have some eggs with soy sauce on them, right?
God, I hate
Is
you
that
guys.
the-
I hate
Gotta
you
have
guys.
soy sauce on
I don't
omelet
have soy sauce
too.
at the moment, but I could.
Richard.
What? I'm sorry.
Just
Don't
go.
apologize.
Just go. Just go.
Don't apologize. You sound.
Oh wait,
Canadian.
no. I'm gonna let Daniel go next. He's all wound up and ready to
I am
shill.
not wound up.
I've never seen him more ready to shill than right now.
Well, my one of my best friends just showed up at the stream. Convoy Bebop says I'm real late because Daniel is almost on the floor.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You should have seen him earlier.
He was real close earlier. He had to adjust. Daniel, chill. What are you working on, good sir?
I'm still working on G Sedai 2, the second book in the Angel War arc of my samurai sci-fi epic novella series. Yes, which I posted a short excerpt that I thought would appeal to certain members, but got glossed over on Wednesday Spotlight.
There was a story with a big titty goth girl. What did you expect?
Fair.
If you want me
Absolutely
to
fair.
look at your story on the Wednesday post, you need to get an animated big titty goth girl in the post. And I
Too
will
much
look at
work.
it. See, it is.
I write, I don't draw. I relegate that to my beloved giggling daughter in the background.
She's just over there just like, Dad, what have you turned yourself into? You used to be so respectable and now you're on this stream every Friday night.
And
Dad, am I
sinking in my
adopted?
chair.
What was that?
But anyways, yes, working on G Sedai 2, closed out chapter 9. I've got 3 chapters left to go. Then it's got to go through a little bit of editing and we're going to be published. I'm hoping in April. That's the plan anyways. After that, going right into Legacy of Heroes 2, which is the sequel to my superhero, goodnight kiss to the Marvel DC BS that's going on. Actual superheroes that actually do heroic stuff.
That are actually like
Dear
heroes.
God. Yes. And I can sort of reveal that the super secret project I've been working on has to do with Legacy of Heroes. So that's all you guys get right now. It should be theoretically done this coming week. So maybe Friday I'll have something for us.
Theoretically, not practically.
Yes, not practically. It's all up to the man doing the video work. What he's shown me so far is beyond my wildest dreams.
Do I know?
I have no video editing skills whatsoever. I'm a writer. That's all I do. Yeah,
I know this man's.
I don't know. Are you aware of Walter Wiggins on Twitter?
No, I'm not. Okay, I don't know this man's.
We call it Walter Magic. He is a video editing wizard, and the things he's been showing me are way beyond what I even asked him to do. So this thing is going to be freaking epic when it's ready. And otherwise, whimsyland.org is getting an upgrade currently, so the website is down. So, can't do anything on there, but you can reach me at Mr. DP Riley on Twitter and we can talk about any of your projects. I do literary coaching, helping any sort of creative get what they need to get done and reach that finish line, and everything that comes afterwards, from publishing to even working with and querying agents.
That's awesome, man. No, and dude, and I see how active you've been getting, especially like in the gilded community and working with all those people. And then,
and I have a Discord group called Laureate that is just writers and creatives. We trade ideas. We beta read each other's work once a month. It's like a whole book club thing that I designed. When somebody finishes a manuscript, like, okay, we spend the month reading and then we talk about it for the last couple of weeks and help refine the project. So it's free beta read and editing just by being part of the group and submitting it to everyone to read. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Awesome. No, yeah, and that's one thing you're doing too, is building community over there as well. So
I do my best.
Attaboy. And that glass is pretty much empty in Daniel's.
Yeah. Force
Daniel's
glass down, folks.
He's not long for the chair. He is not long for the chair. It's
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
There you go.
He's going to be floor Daniel very, very soon.
No, I'm not even staying for the after show. Once we roll credits, man, I'm going to bed.
We're going to be a loud thump as soon as the credits are over. Loud thump, Daniel gone.
Yep.
So I'm not confident he's going to be going to bed. He may be rolling.
I was gonna say he might be.
I'll probably just ooze off of the chair and be like, "Leave me here, child," and just pass out.
Oh, Richard, what are you doing, man? What is your show for the week?
Okay, well, I've got the two. The first and foremost is the Iron Age Media February short story and poetry prompt voting that's going on right now.
And poetry prompt.
Yeah,
That's a new phrase in there.
Poetry and flash fiction.
That's been on for a couple of months now, though.
It started in January.
Yeah.
So,
Trippy
Soul and King Bob, and I think that there's
King Bob's getting down on the poetry too.
Bob. Yeah, I'm blanking a little bit because I went through it earlier this week, and then I started reading a bunch of short stories.
On Gilded, and I'm too drunk to look at it.
So everything is like starting to blend together in my brain.
Oh God, I know that already.
No, but I was gonna say, if you guys haven't checked it out, as always, I say go over there. It's a free and easy way to support the people who are working and creating in the Iron Age, and vote for your favorites. But most importantly, just go out there and read them and leave a like or comment if you can. And the other big project is going to be getting very close, which is the Anvil magazine.
Yes.
It's going to be launching the pre-order campaign. You can, I like limericks. You go for it, man.
The dirtier, the better.
Yeah, right. Anyway, sorry, but Anvil will be going into pre-order on the 27th of March. So right now there's a pre-launch campaign up. So if you want to get in on the very first wave of goodies, and I'm probably going to I don't know, I'm trying to hammer out pricing and pre-order bonus type stuff. But or not pre-order, but if you're one of the first people to sign up, first 48 hours, that kind of crap. But yeah, next Friday I'll have more details about it, obviously, and also on the YouTube channel, I am gonna shill the YouTube channel real quick here.
Finally,
yeah, I actually should. I really should do that.
Yeah, he's only had a YouTube channel for many, many months at this point, Bonzart.
And
he's mentioned it 3 times. We're 22 episodes in. He's mentioned his YouTube channel 3 times.
Listen, okay. So I don't really have a good excuse for that, but
I know, and that's why I had to say it.
I will say that I'm going to have a new interview up on Tuesday, and I think that you guys will like the interview, and it'll be an exciting one. So
good deal.
Yeah.
Subscribe, tune in on Tuesday, and then stick around. There'll be announcements for Anvil magazine and everything else. So.
Sweet.
And the chill miniature painting, listening.
Chill miniature painting on Sunday.
Dude, I pop into your chill streams on Sundays, after bowling, because you're usually live, when I'm getting back from bowling, and I'm just gonna sit here and I watch. Hey, there you go.
Miniatures.
See, have you ever thought about doing that, Richard? Is having a chill stream, where you paint, bring some other people on and you guys just paint and converse back and forth?
Man, I'd really thought about having multiple people painting, kind of like a drawn and quartered, but for miniatures.
I've seen a couple like Nick Ricada and Heel versus Babyface. They'll do it with
and Sargon will do it. I mean,
yeah.
I was kind of I can't believe people are doing this, but at the same time, it's
it's really relaxing.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever painted miniatures, but it's very just
No, like I
Yeah.
haven't,
It
but
makes
just
me
like
wanna go
watching
to
you guys,
sleep,
just
you know?
the focus and just like watching it, very, very relaxing, very cathartic to just watch.
Yeah,
Never
makes me
thought,
want to take a nap. Just
dude,
listen to
never,
Richard.
never
Yeah,
thought in
I
a
don't-
million years it would be
I don't pretend
interesting.
to be
Bonzart looks like
very
Bonzart's got
exciting,
some
but-
miniatures there that he's
Oh,
showing.
yeah.
There you go.
that's-
These are
Character
bookends.
bust.
I need to finish these. I recently gifted the prototypes I had to a friend of mine, but yeah, we also have bookends, and I must say they're very fun to paint.
Wait,
That's awesome.
wait, you have Radio Retro Future bookends?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
These, yeah, Association
Oh,
of
no.
Ishtar bookends. Yes, these are based on the characters of the first book.
Where may I purchase those?
Yeah.
On the
Can-
Kickstarter.
On the Kickstarter. Okay. Because I actually need bookends because, well, I've got some books that need ended. So for lack of a
boy.
better.
And not by the dog.
Well, I still no. That one's still there. That's
Okay.
Brian Asher's Assassin of Malkozay.
But yeah, they're
When he finishes with the
there's
book,
some
he just
swag
feeds
on
it to
the
the animal.
on the Kickstarter page. So
Maybe that's what I should do: is a drink with crazy bookends. Huh.
We need to
Like
we
just
need to-
painted beer cans.
There you go.
Really, really cheap. As many of the beer cans as I have here. Really cheap.
There you
Put
go.
some concrete in them if you really want to get fancy.
Yeah.
I've got
they'll
bags of
need
it in the
some help.
garage.
There you
There you
go.
go.
See?
All right, guys. Hey, everybody out there, chat, thank you guys so much for being an absolutely fantastic audience this week. And as you can hear right now, that's the music. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here on A Drink with Crazy. And hey, 11 a.m. Central on Sundays, we do Sunday Coffee. That's where I read your comments. Don't be late. But obviously, don't come to my show if you're going to go to church. Go to church first, then come to A Drink
Yeah,
with
I have
Crazy.
to go to
It'll be a fantastic
catechism
time.
class.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here on A Drink with Crazy. Thank you so much for being here on Iron Age Nights. Thank you so much to Bonzart, who woke up at like 2:30 in the morning. And we
Yes.
will see you all next time. Hopefully, you guys are having a good night. Cheers, everybody. The Animated Moon. Catch you later. Trip
Cheers.
Souls.
Launcha.
10K.
Happy St. Patty's
Have a
Day.
good one. Yes, happy St. Patty's Day. Later. Convoy Bebop. That was one of my best friends. So real life best friends too. Like I actually know him.
Boy Bebop.
He's on. Yeah, we know the mics are on, Herman. That's the
The mics are on?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh no!
He's fine. That was actually him falling out of the chair, despite what you may think.
I know,
Yes.
right? That one actually cracked. That one actually cracked Bonzart up. That was pretty good. Kikomon says gay.
You're gay.
Everybody's gay, a little bit. Anyway, never mind.
You're
Night, gents.
fake
Good night,
gay.
Ted Gage.
it's a spectrum.
Oh man. Oh good lord. Oh, what has my show turned into?
Radio
Oh, no.
Retro Future, people.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here for Iron Age Nights. And as always, we look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Roy sounds like one.